Summon Sign is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 99 of Summon Sign, Last Stand Media's weekly in-depth game discussion podcast. I am your host, as always, Brad Ellis, and joining me, two fine gentlemen, two lords, if you will. First of all, we got Mr. Lord Cognito. Cog, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. My first appearance post-birthday weekend. I have survived. I lived to tell about it. It was a wild weekend. I have compromising photos out there of me.
riding a horse-like structure.
Yeah. There's a lot of slander going on my name, but it's all a good fun.
Someone made it into a GIF.
Yeah.
Man.
It's bad.
That's
it's bad.
stuff.
Shout out to the pregame at Texas Roadhouse and the festivities they force you to do, which I wasn't aware of when it's your birthday, and things you have to ride and other things that the whole audience participates in. So that was funny, but no, it was good. It was good to kind of just kind of be with my brothers and friends and family, and just also like disconnect from social media and just have fun and not worry about anything. And then shout out to our guest who was able to hold it down for me while I was away for that weekend.
Yeah, we got Mr. Lord Addict here. Addict, good to see you, man. We had you on, I think, when the Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth demo came out. I think us three did a video on it, if I remember
I think it was
correctly.
On Defining Duke Plus. That's back when.
Defining Duke Plus. Yeah, back in the day. But yeah, man, good to have you on here. Two lords right now. Good stuff. How you feeling, man?
Doing pretty good. I'm a little fainted. Yesterday I played. The day before yesterday, I played Anno for like 8 hours straight.
Damn.
And I'm not the type of person, like, I'll play, like, even when I review a game, I'll play something for like 3 hours, take a break, come back a couple hours, play another 3 or 4 hours. I was like, dude, it's 7. We started at 1. I got to get off. I had to, like, literally, because it's a co-op game, and just be like, yo, I'm going to just save and turn off, because I can clearly say the past 30 minutes I'm saying I have to go. I need to eat. This is getting unhealthy.
Yeah, totally. Now, I gotta know, sometimes Cog dips his toe into anime, usually begrudgingly.
It's all
Are
me.
you the one that instigates it usually, Addict?
It's all me.
Okay. You're the one showing him anime fights and stuff like that. You showed him, he was talking shit on Jiraiya, I remember. And I was like, yo, come on, man.
Well, see, the thing is, he wasn't like where he just blind reacted to it. He didn't see the Naruto, meeting Jiraiya.
Mhm.
Jiraiya, like, one of the only people that actually cared about Naruto. And he's the reason Naruto became who he is. And that's supposed to be a big moment in Naruto. But all Cog sees, man, this dude in the red. What's up with it?
Yeah, man, it was interesting. I just
He
like
likes Aizen, though. He likes the villains.
Yeah. I like
Aizen
the villains.
from Bleach,
I'm about all the villains. The villains excite me. I like, you give me a good, powerful villain, you actually captivate me in your show. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I kind of agree with some of the motivations. But a lot of times I just like to see the heroes get wrecked. I ain't gonna lie. It really gives me joy sometimes. Yeah, I do root for the bad guys in movies a lot of times sometimes. That is a thing of mine sometimes.
Oh, I get it. Villains are cool. It's like Batman. I love all the Batman
I
villains.
showed him Aizen versus all the captains. He loved that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most dominant things that's ever been done in anime.
Yes.
Damn.
Love it.
Yeah, very good. As everyone probably knows, Cog, co-host of Defining Duke with Maddie, a very fun podcast always. Dude, every time I'm on that show, I am, what did you guys call me, the curse of Xbox?
Yeah, you're the curse of Xbox. They tell you some earth-shattering, horrible news.
I'm there.
Well, to be fair, they, Xbox loves stepping on rakes, so anyone that comes on anything these days can be considered a curse. It's like, you was on, and the week after that, they shut down the studio. You're the curse of Xbox.
Yeah. That's right. I'll take that title. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys also, of course, host the Iron Lords podcast every Sunday. What time do you guys start?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Eastern time?
Mm-hmm.
You guys go for a long time usually, right?
Yeah, it's a marathon.
It's the intro. We get too full of ourselves at the beginning of the show every day.
Yeah.
We don't even get to a topic till like 2.5 hours in.
That's a fact. Yeah, a lot of it, Brad, is just us catching up with each other. It's okay, what did you do this week? You know, what movie did you watch? What games you played? And then that'll spin off into a tangent. And then the audience will get in and they'll get involved until, like Addict's point, it's like 2 hours in. It's like, oh yeah, we got to get to the first topic.
we're not on a phone call. We're actually live. Okay,
yes,
I forgot.
Yeah, we're just having so much fun. Just you're just shooting it with your boys, and it just becomes this natural progression and stuff like that. But yeah, man, you're absolutely right. It'll be a 4 to 5. Like now, like 3 hours is a short show. We'd be like, wow, we did 3 hours. Like I can't remember the last time Addict we did it 3. Like usually it's like 4 is our average, kind of. So that's generally what it is. It tends to go on.
That LSM influence, I feel like all of the shows long. Like you and Maddie go for a long time when it's just you two, depending on the week, especially, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Easy 4 hours though with just you two.
Yes.
I'm just going to point out that IOP and Defining Duke have one variable, so maybe we know why these shows are long.
What were you trying to say? Are you implying that I like to?
I'm not implying. I'm writing it on a wall.
But what's funny, see, he says all this, Brad.
We're all long-winded.
Yeah, let it be a topic he's passionate about. Let it be an anime or a movie or a video game that Addict like. Oh, you gonna get all his bars. He gonna break it down.
It don't even be God I like it. Let it be something I hate.
Oh, yeah, that part too. Yeah, that part too. Oh, he gonna let you know.
You guys were all friends in real life, right? Before the show? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, well, pretty much the Addict is right. So here's how it is. So King is family, right? Sov, I went to school with sister.
Wait, you're related to King? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah. Okay.
So we got that part, right? And then, but then he wasn't into gaming. I mean, he wasn't into any of the YouTube stuff. We were just game and stuff. They would come over. And then, Sov, I've known since the 3rd grade. We've been in every class since like the 3rd grade until he went to high school. Then he went to boarding school. And then what happened is when we all split apart, Xbox Live became the thing. We're like, Xbox Live. We could talk to each other, whatever. So as I started to get more into Xbox Live, then I met Addict. And then me and him hit it off immediately through a mutual friend, right? And then if it wasn't for Addict, I wouldn't have gotten into podcasting. Iron Laws wouldn't even been created because he kept pitching it to me. He's like, bro, you got to, we should do a show. We should do something.
Originally, I was the host of Iron.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I don't know. You be the host, whatever. And then we kept doing it, Brad. I'm like, man, I kind of like this. This is kind of fun. And then, so originally we had a different iteration of Iron Laws podcast. It was me, him, and 2 other guys. So shout out to SWAT and Sleep. They couldn't make it consistently. And then I came with the idea. I said, you know what? Let me hit up King. Let me hit up Sov. Yeah. And then we had them as guests on IOP. And then once all 4 of us, we like, the chemistry is amazing. Yeah. And then it just became that all the time. But yeah, man. And then obviously, Addict comes up to New York all the time. We hang out in real life. We go to shows and stuff like that. So even though he's in West Virginia, I still see him. Sometimes I'll be honest with you, Addict, I see you more than Sov. Sov lives here.
To be honest with you, it's crazy because I have never been to New York ever until I met them. And now I've been to New York like 6 or 7 times.
Dang.
Yes. He's a temporary New York resident. He's got his card.
Yes.
I won't go that far.
Please check their show out on YouTube if you want to hear what shenanigans they get into. I've tuned into it sometimes. Lots of yelling.
Oh, yelling. Yeah, we're going at it. And one thing I like is that we don't always agree. Like that is a staple. Right. Like we always don't agree, and I love it because like sometimes it's cool to have those debates. And the most fun I have is when we do this thing called Bend the Knee, because when we don't agree, we want someone to stand on it, and then we document it. And then whoever's right after the time period, they have to come on, they have to bend the knee live on camera as acknowledgement for being wrong. Like I love that stuff because it makes us stand on our commitments and our picks and stuff. Like it is fun. Yeah,
that is really funny. Hey, if you enjoy this show, please leave us a nice rating on whatever podcast service you use, YouTube, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Help us grow. Do that for all of our shows. Finding Duke, give him some support over there, show them some love. We all appreciate it. And if you want some merch, go to laststandmedia.store. You can get some Defining Duke merch over there. But you can't get Iron Lords merch other places. But yes, Defining Duke. I think there's Health is Wealth, I believe, still there. We have the logo. Sadly, Cog, I've been pushing for a shirt with just Maddie's face on it. The smug Maddie.
The smug Maddie.
I just want a shirt of that And one of my favorite bits, because I listen to Duke occasionally, is you talking about Maddie's thumbnails and what if he's going to be smiling or not on a thumbnail.
I said, I don't know. I said, I haven't seen smiley face Maddie in a while.
He's not happy. That is good stuff. All right. Let's talk about the first game on the docket, which is the Outer Worlds 2. Cog, you've been playing this. Addict, have you been playing this at all?
I beat it.
You beat it? Okay, so you have some context. I have not played this at all, but I did play the first one. But Maddie was on here a couple weeks ago, and he was talking highly about it. He enjoyed it quite a bit. So, Cog, talk to me. Your beloved Obsidian, the Black Rock.
The Black Rock. So I did it. Like I finally beat the game. Definitely, it took me a long time. I would say at least 40 hours because
damn,
I literally did every quest line, every task, every companion's quest. And I saved it in critical junctures because I wanted to see how divergent certain choices would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I did see that. So overall, I would say like I really enjoyed this experience. It was a lot of fun. I would say the strength of the game, obviously the leveling system, the perk system, skills, and then I highly would advise if you want to lean into the floor system. I think the floor system is really one of the cool design mechanics in RPGs because what the game does is it tracks everything you do. So it's like, hey, you like to sneak around a lot, So if you do that, we'll give you.
Hold on, what is the floor system? Can you explain this a little?
All right, so
flaw system. I said floor system.
Sorry. Yeah, flaw.
Flaw system. Okay.
Yeah, basically, it's like the game tracks every aspect of the game. Every gameplay mechanic you do, if you reload too quickly when you have a gun or you sneak around a lot, the game says, okay, we notice you.
Sun.
Yeah, you look at the sun too much. Like you go to vendors and you don't really buy things. Like it analyzes everything. And the minute it notices a pattern, there's a pop-up. It'll say, hey Brad, like, we notice you do this a lot. If you choose to, we'll give you this set bonus to lean into that play style. But there'll be a caveat. So, for example, one of the famous ones is like, hey, every time you're in a building, you sneak around a lot. We'll give you a plus boost to your sneaking speed and your crouch speed and your stealth kills. But at the expense of the minute you pop up from sneaking, your knees crack, and then everyone around you can hear you. So it's called bad knees, right?
Okay, so that's funny.
So the one I went, then they have ones that are like what I consider game genre defining flaws, which the game warns you. It says, hey, we notice every time you level up, we give you 2 or 3 points. You spread them evenly. And as opposed to leaning into specific skills.
Like a jack of all trades or something.
Right. It's called jack of all trades. So it's like, since you do this, we'll give you an extra skill point every time you level up, but you can never max all one skill out. So it's like going. So basically, every level I have to put it only into the points of the skills that are my lowest, and then you can even things out, and then you can level up again. So it's kind of like you're being well rounded, but you can't lead into like, hey, I want to be all speech, I want to be all lockpick. So again, it's just these cool things, and I just think the way the game is designed, the fact that it's in the background tracking these things, is one of the cooler design mechanics in RPGs. And I think I wouldn't go as far as saying, I would say like the last major one, Addict, me and him agree, would probably be like the Nemesis system, would be like, as far as like a truly game-changing mechanic that I haven't seen in video games. But this floor system, it's really special to me, and I really enjoy it. So overall, I would say gameplay was amazing. I thought the factions, the way your alignment goes with all the major factions, where you have the Auntie's Choice, the Protectorate, you have all these different factions you encounter in the game, and then you have companions that are also part of these factions. I think the way they handled that was great. My only nitpick would be, I felt towards the end, they kind of rushed the companion quests. So even though I had a couple of favorite companions, like shout out to Tristan, that's my guy. He's for the Protectorate. He's hilarious. He's like a lovable idiot, and he's all, like, and you know what is Addict? They have a lot of people that just want to kill everybody. They'll be like, yo, why don't we just kill them? Why do we need to negotiate? This game has a lot of that type of energy. So I would say the companion quests were rushed a little bit towards the end, and then this discussion also being Addict had is I felt like they're trying to give you a ragtag group of companions, but I felt their motivations as a collective wouldn't really work to be part of a team. That's where the game got a little not believable towards the end as far as just to compare. But the story, I felt, again, from RPG mechanic standpoint, amazing. The combat, amazing. I really had a good time with Outer Worlds 2. And this is definitely, a step up from Avowed as far as pure RPG mechanics and choices that I felt really mattered. You know what I'm saying? And I need to see some other playthroughs to see how more divergent things could get. But I felt I saw enough that I'm like, okay, these things played a factor. The last thing I'll say is this. One of the things that I really love about this game is this game truly, when you search the open world, the hub world, you could find notes, you could find documents, you could find things, right? And sometimes this information in conversation can be used to blackmail someone, or it'll have a choice in the dialogue and say, hey, required information discovered. And you can use that to your advantage, as well as perks, skills. This is one of the few games that you could have a trait like lockpicking, hacking, science, engineering, and it'll come up as a conversational skill check that if you have it, it can advance things. So it makes all the skills useful in every aspect of the game. And I think that's where they truly leaned into the hardcore RPG sensibility. So I loved it, man. I really enjoy my time with it.
Yeah, with games like this, Cog, I love choices that are very difficult to make, where you don't really know what to do. Were you always pretty locked in with your choices, or were you deliberating a lot with what to do?
I felt early in the game, there were a couple of choices that I'm like, man, I don't know what I want to do. I had to put the controller down. Like, I don't know what I want to do here.
Good. Yeah, especially the end of chapter 1.
Oh, chapter 1, bro. Chapter 1 really had me like, man, I don't know what to do. And then I will say, I love, if you have two companions with you based on their faction and who they associate with, you can be like, hey, Brad, what do you think? And then the companion will interact and say something. And some people feel very strongly about things. But Addict knows this part. This is what I knew the game really was locked in. Again, chapter 1, I'll just say the bridge part. You deal with a rising faction. At that time, if you have a certain companion in your quest or a part of your team, there was an option that was so hilarious that I said, let me pause the game and see if I do this. And you can literally do the foulest thing I've ever seen to a companion.
Oh man,
it's bad.
It's bad.
It was so bad, Brad. When it happened, I put my controller like, ain't no way.
Yeah, I was like,
ain't no way.
Damn.
I was like, I said, let me save it. Let me come save and see. I say, yo, this is straight evil, and I love it. I love just the fact that they thought about it and to do it and to push in on that is hilarious. And then to Addict's point, like there's certain decisions where companions are like, oh no, you did that? I'm out. I don't want nothing to do. Like they leave on the spot.
That bridge scene, if you make the wrong decisions, you can lose all your companions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's some stuff, man. It's just, and also, last thing I'll say, the dialogue and the writing sometimes has some of the most laugh out loud, hilarious things in it. Going through the open world, the radio stations, each play into like their ideology. So you have, the Order, which is kind of like a play, I would say, or like Scientology, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And everything's about order and numbers. And they're singing chants. 1, 2, 3, something like it's just foolishness that leads. It's like a radio station that leads into the ideology of a religion of something, and then you have obviously all these choices, all about corporatism, and it would be like corporate Cog the station, and it's like literally mergers and acquisitions and pushing products and foolishness. The game definitely doesn't take itself seriously with a lot, but they lead into it, and some of the voice acting is literally laugh out loud hilarious.
Wow. Okay, that's good news. Tell me about your build, Cog. What were you prioritizing?
All right, so I went with a leadership category, which gives my companions more damage. Also gives me a lot of dialogue choices where I could take more of an authoritative tone as far as a direction with certain NPCs we want to go. Leadership really played into my play style because I also got, shout out to the weapons in this game. The weapons in this game, amazing. Like the science weapons, they lead into build. I had a gun. I had a shotgun that when I stealth around, not only when I kill someone from behind, the body instantly evaporates into dust so that other people can't see the stuff.
Yeah,
so
it's
my
like
build,
Dishonored. Yeah.
So my build was very companion level where I lead them, they do a lot of damage. But weapons that also skewed into an armor and mods that skewed into it, where if I target someone, the enemy does less damage and my companions will focus on them. I had a crazy build with my end scanner. That's another thing. Also, I went into observation. So observation would be like, okay, you enter a room, and if your observation skill is high enough, you'll see like a little eyeball. It'll point you to direction. Sometimes that'll lead into a panel, a secret panel that allows you to go through the ventilation shafts to sneak around a whole army camp where you would normally just go head on, guns to the balls to the wall with that. So you have stuff like that. So those are my two primary. And then those are just the skills. Then the perks, there's also these subsets where you can really lean into stuff. I think I had things where I could hack mechanical mechs from a distance. I had things with like anytime someone drops something, I get what was it? No, anytime I switch weapons, I would get like a damage boost and stuff like that. Bro, the sheer amount of perks and skill combinations are really endless. And I will say though, towards the end, Brad, I started getting OP. I was like,
yeah,
people.
cool.
I was getting crazy. I was just clearing out whole areas of maps. That's how powerful I was at a certain point in the game.
Okay, very nice. Addict, I want to get some of your general thoughts about the game as well, since you've played through it.
Yeah, I think the flaw system is definitely the best system in the game. Actually, because like I'm able to like read semi-fast because of like watching subbed and stuff on anime a lot. So I usually read before the game reads it to me through like dialogue and stuff, and I'll skip it because I already read it.
Right.
And I did that for like maybe a couple hours, and then I got a flaw that was like, we've noticed you've been skipping all the dialogue, so how about we offer you this? The drawback is we pick your dialogue. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Like, we're not doing that. That feels like a mistake.
Yeah.
Like, and then they had another one where I was looking at stuff but I wasn't stealing nothing, and I guess they wasn't happy with that. They offered me some crazy bonus, but it's like, it's called klepto, but you're not control over your own actions. Sometimes when you look at stuff, we'll just take it.
Oh man, that's funny.
And I was like, yeah, that sounds horrible too. Like, so but they offer every time you get one of these flaws, you read it, you're like, can I live with that? Because that's really good. Like,
any flaws did you pick? Did you pick any flaws?
I have like 4 or 5.
Okay, yeah.
Smooth picked like 5. He didn't realize what he was doing. He had to restart the whole game. Like, because the flaws, he wasn't really paying attention to the flaw portion, which I do agree with them because they are permanent. You can't get rid of them.
Yes.
I do feel like maybe there should be a side quest or something where it's like, okay, maybe this wasn't the best thing. In hindsight, it was a disaster. And there should be some way of getting rid of it if you want to.
Like a respec thing, yeah.
Like a respec,
kind of like catching, becoming a vampire back in like Oblivion and Morrowind, where it's like, you had to go and do the anti. Because it's like, look, I don't like punishing players for decisions they made 10, 15 hours ago. Like, it's like, give me the option if I want to get rid of that. It don't even have to be easy. Like, I have to pay a bunch of money or something. Like,
sure.
They could even make it funny in the Outer Worlds franchise, like they brainwash you or something. Like, but I enjoyed it. I do think that the Companions was a step up from Avowed, but even with that, I still feel that Obsidian has a way to go before they've hit because my thing is like, I think Obsidian has the potential to be like a Larian Studio or something like, but the thing is like, we got to get better on the factions thing. Cause I feel like the factions and the companions, they didn't really mix too well. It's like, you got the factions, you got the companions, but you can have a companion of a certain faction. He don't really care what you do. So I feel like let's improve that. Now, were the companions horrible? No, but I do think that that's an improvement that they can make on that.
Sure.
And I do think that Avowed had a great combat system. So I couldn't really do combat in that game, Brad. I'm gonna be honest with you, because after playing Avowed, even though there's a lot of aspects about I was not a fan of, that combat was fun, fluid, and it never really got old. And I'm like, how about I go back to this? So yeah, you improve the combat, but right now it's rumored they're going to be working on Avowed 2. We'll see if they go to Outer Worlds. I do think Outer Worlds deserves that
The
third one.
game. Mm-hmm.
Because Outer Worlds 2 is definitely an improvement from Outer Worlds 1. But I understand right now they're probably working on, my guess would be a new Pillars and a Vow 2. And, maybe after those two games, they'll start thinking about if they want to revisit the Outer Worlds or not.
Gotcha. Or if you're Maddie, you always want Fallout from them or something like that.
You know how you do.
Yeah, I would love Fallout from them, but I'm also creative freedom with devs.
Sure.
Like, we can't screen creative freedom until the creative freedom is something we want. It's either all the way or none of the way. It's either you make devs make what you want them to make, or you give them the creative freedom within reason. Because I do feel like maybe Microsoft was a little too hands off, which I was very vocal about it the whole time. To a point, you got to check in and be like, yo, what's this? What's
right,
this?
Yeah.
You got the famous PlayStation thing when, she was over there playing God of War, and he's like, and you could just, Corey could tell that he wasn't feeling what he was playing, and that's when they brought Atreus into the game. And what's funny, I don't know what's missing. Something's missing. And they found that out. And sometimes, it could overextend, like, the Dead Space 3 failure, or sometimes it can be too hands off. So I do think the Outer Worlds 2 is a great direction in the right path for Obsidian, and I think they have the potential to be a great RPG studio. But I do agree with Cog. They got to bring romance back into the games.
The romance bros.
I might not necessarily be like a person that romances all these type of games. Except for Ty Lee and Mass Effect.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know why.
That's a Tally stand right there.
That chick had me. I don't know. There's a point where like I was talking to two companions, and I could tell that there was going to be beef, and it might go south with one of them. I was like, "Is this a song not Tally? We good?" It's like, I will join Tally and kill you if I have to. So don't think this is twisted.
I know exactly. Shout out to Legion. Yeah, he's doing too much.
Do you think this game is a good substitute for people that were burned by Starfield in some way?
Ooh. I would say so. I mean, because I think what it is that the problem with Starfield, as much as I love it, I have to acknowledge the major flaw is that from having that 1,000 planet kind of energy where there's, they try to say, well, it's the realism of space. There's nothing on it. But from a gameplay standpoint, it's boring. And then here's where Obsidian is kind of lapping Bethesda. When it comes to quest lines and unique content and rewards that tie in, right? The thing about like, you go through a dungeon or you go in a Avowed or you go through something in Outer Worlds 2, there's like amazing loot. There's like a science, it's handcrafted. It has special properties. When I play Starfield, it's like, random gun X that's just purple, kind of thing. So it's just like that's the thing. And I think that also because of, like I said, the fact that there's those randomized quests on some of these planets, it just loses the flavor of, okay, why you being there. And I think that's where the procedural gets them in trouble. To me, the strength of Obsidian is knowing Hub World and say, okay, what's that over there in the distance? What's that smokestack? Let me go over there, and it's a whole unique environment.
And I think Avowed did a good job with that too.
Oh, Avowed, I love
like
it.
In the first region, there was like a kind of like an island to the right. I was very curious on what was over there to the right.
Yes, and I think they nailed that. What's in the horizon? I think just from a design standpoint in space, what Starfield would have been better off if they would have pulled the Mass Effect and just focused on like 6 planets. Fully fleshed them out, original content, and I think people wouldn't have had more of an issue. It's the fact that you're telling people you could go anywhere, but there's not really a lot of interesting things to do outside of the main quest line, storyline planets.
Yeah. What do you think Obsidian's got to do, Cog and Addict, to kind of get to that next level in perspective? Because I know people who have played this game enjoyed it quite a bit, but I'm not hearing a lot of chatter about it right now. I don't know if that's just a cycle of games right now because there's so many, or if it's just not hitting with the players.
I think that Obsidian does, obviously evolve, never, stay the same. I think their RPG mechanics are always solid. I don't think that's the issue. Obviously, next game you want better than the previous game. I think their biggest issue is just character development, make sure that what goes on with your companions, what goes on in the world impacts the actual world. Because I remember in like Baldur's Gate, there's some decisions that you can make that you like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
like I saw, and then I like those moments where like you're like scrolling through like a TikTok or a short, and then like an ending popped up. It's like, I ain't never even seen that. Like, what? How did they get this ending? Like, I saw something where some crazy stuff was going on, Shadowheart related. I'm like, dude, I have no clue what's going on there. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, really focus on the dialogue, the companions, the factions, and just make sure all that is intertwined in the actual story. Because I do feel like RPG, they've always did a good job. They've always did a good job with the immersion of their worlds. They've always did a good job making their worlds feel alive. It's just the other aspects. Like, they've done good story, but not good intertwining in story. I there's some good moments, but when you go back in the Outer Worlds and you look at some of the aftermath, it's clearly there. But to me, in order to be on that next level, it's got to be like immediate. I want to play this game again to see the other adjacent aspect of what happens.
Yeah.
I don't got too much to add to it. It's just more like I think that's why I'm very hard on them as far as like where the romance at, bro.
Yeah.
like because my thing is like at the end of the day, people want to connect with characters. We can't ignore the elephant in the room. One of the things, I remember playing a Mass Effect where I fell in love with a BioWare. It's just like, hey, this option is possible, right? And then obviously taking the proper respect and not just, and truly flushing out. I would say like one of my best experiences was probably Dragon Age Inquisition as far as the way they handle romance. It was a respect to it. And I think, like I said, they're capable of it now. I know, they probably, say that they're gonna do some stuff, and we'll see. Obsidian's got more stuff planned. I would say that I like them in Hub World, honestly. Like that they've chosen as a studio to say, hey, this is what we do best. We are not the open world RPG studio per se, right? We want to tell these very concise stories and stuff like that. But to Addict's point, I agree. We just now need to take. I think that this is what it is. The final. They need to get. If you expand on those characters, then you'll have more memorable characters, more memorable moments where people truly, like you said, the Shadowhearts at it. There's certain characters because of everything that they're comprised of and the way they're written, you have that emotional connection. You go, yeah. And I think outside of Outer Worlds 1, where I like Pavarti, Vic and Max, this crew was okay, but I do feel it was lacking where I'm like, these characters I love through it. There's no Rex, there's no Garrus, there's no, you know what I mean? There's certain characters where you like, man, I love the way every aspect of them are written. I have this deep emotional connection. I think that's what's missing from their character development writing.
Okay. And like an example, like there's this a part in Fable 1. I'm like the biggest Fable stan on the internet, I think. But you're raised with pretty much your rival Whisper, and the whole game she's taking the opposite quest that you're taking, and you feel there's a connection there, and like, but it's not like negative or positive. Right. And then you get to the point in this Coliseum where the main antagonist, you guys are fighting together in the Coliseum, and at the end, the main antagonist gets up, Jack of Blaze, probably one of the best antagonists ever been in games. And he's like, I'm gonna give you guys, I think it was like 10,000 or 100,000. Fight to the death. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, that choice, because even though there was moments with Whisper, I was still split down the middle on what I actually wanted to do. And if you choose the bad one where, you guys fight to the death, other things happen, or you choose the good one, other things happen. It's like things like that. It's like where you get to this point of the road, and it spawns other options. And there was not one moment in all of Outer Worlds 2 that made me feel what I felt when Jack of Blaze was trying to pay me essentially to kill my childhood friend.
No, that's a good point. The last thing I know we're going long, but this is a great point, is that the only moment I felt a smidge of that I don't know, Addict, if you got you did you ever have Inez in your party? The Auntie's Choice chick who has the graphs?
No, I had the crazy. No, I did have her a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, I like that crazy chick.
Oh, you like Ozza? Ozza from the murder,
I need therapy. That's what I need.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a wild girl. But Brad, I'm telling this girl's why she just wants to murder. Now, Inez is Auntie Choice, right? And she's obviously a part of the corporatism stuff.
She has great abilities.
She's great abilities. She's one of the best written characters out of all, in my opinion. There's a part where you go to this lab and they're doing these experiments, these corporate experiments where they're grafting animals into humans. It's hilarious, right? So there's a moral choice that she gets to confront someone who was responsible for doing something awful, or to her friend or whatever. And the dialogue, and it was a stand down moment.
Oh,
and it could go either way depending on what was happening. But it was so well delivered in the passion of that character. And I was like, okay, I need more of this, because I felt as a whole, the other rest of the cast never matched that level, or I didn't feel it was believable. You know what I'm saying? That's the next level what I want, with that deep character interaction and emotional connection. I'm sorry.
And not to mention, too, I do feel that Outer Worlds made it too easy to convince people to stand down. Like,
yes.
It's one thing that, like, yo, we ain't going to just go in here with smoke with these people. It's another thing to convince someone to abandon their whole ideology of their entire life. Now they do it pretty easy, and I think they should be more pushback on that.
I agree. There was one thing I will give it credit. I don't know if you ever had Tristan in your party. He's the protectorate guy who was the arbiter, and you have him. And then when you go to the Order's base, I've never seen it. This was kind of fun. The game was like, this is our sanctuary, our community. He's not allowed. Like, don't bring him up in. They told me literally, and because of skill checks and some other things, I was able to pull it off. And I'm like, look, what if I watch him and, do these things? And can we come to an agreement? Because what's funny, even before you get there, Tristan is like, hey, Commander, I don't think it's a good idea to bring me on this mission. I was like, okay, I want more of this. Like, so they flirt, but we wanted to go a little bit more extreme. It's basically what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha. This is from Mikey. Cog, how do you feel about the actual traversal in the Outer Worlds 2? I love the game, but I feel like its topography works against it. There are so many inconvenient chasms, and the fall damage is too punishing, which makes navigating the world frustrating at times.
Good one, Mikey. I think I could agree with this. I think that platforming, I felt Avowed's platform is a little better. I will say, like, once you get the double jump boots, Addict, that allow you to hop around.
Well, Avowed didn't have where you fall from a tree and die.
Right? So the main thing with the traversal is, I feel like they're a little too punishing if you fall from a higher thing, and it's not that high, and then there's no swimming in the game, so you touch water, it's instant death, and I'm like,
really? Huh.
Yeah, we spoke to the devs about it, and what did they tell us, Addict? They were like, they didn't have enough.
I can't remember if it was. I can't remember if it was on record or not, so I'm not going to say too much.
Yeah, true. Good point. So at the end of the day, for whatever reason, they don't have it. So which is kind of a little bit of a disappointment, because again, Avowed did have that. I will say that, I don't know if you got this, Addict. There was in the Protectorate base. Did you get that armor that allows you to hover and you hold down?
Yeah. You had to do all that stuff in that chasm thing.
Yeah, that chasm security thing. So yeah, I would say that it's really not made. To Mikey's point, I agree. It's not really made for a traversal like that, and I think that is a fair criticism if people want to do that play style, want to run around and jump around and stuff like that.
I would say the Outer Worlds 2 is the king of AA RPGs, and we want them to push past that. Like,
yeah, it seems like most of their games are AA space. Mostly, it seems like.
Yes.
But yeah, I wonder what they could do with the AAA. I mean, they're owned by Microsoft, so hopefully that comes. But they seem are they like partial to AA though? Kind of.
Yeah, it's funny because Marcus Morgan, who we interviewed, who was also one of the game directors on Grounded 2. They had an interview with Christopher Dring recently, and they talked about that, and I was surprised. They actually, with them, their mindset is they literally said, we don't want to make something and then we have to worry about going out of business. And I was like, wow, they said it, and our studio getting shut down. So basically I think it's a purposeful choice from Fergus and the team. We are AA. We're going to push our tools into these type of things, and we can actually have multiple projects at one time. And also, we don't want to we don't want to come to Microsoft until we're confident about what we're ready to present. And that's how they're kind of operating. And to their credit, you know, I mean, it's been doing well for them. Obviously, Grounded 2 seems to be a success. I don't know how Outer Worlds 2 is doing, though. I got to be honest. I don't know financially how that is. You know,
I think it'll be one of those things that it will pick up sales throughout the next couple years because it is a good game. But here's the thing: this year's been very stacked, so I can understand people. Oh, y'all come back to it later. I think them working on multiple games is their biggest double-edged sword because even though they're able to make, because most companies they work multiple projects. One of those projects probably gonna be underwhelming. Most of the time, they hit them all out of the park. It's just maybe in the lane that they're in because it's hard to like really make a huge AAA type of standard game when your studio is being divided on 3 to 4 projects. So I think that's the reason, and I don't blame them for that because it's like, look, we like our jobs. So you're looking at a corporate entity like Microsoft that's been very itchy with the laying off stuff, where it's like, we want to be as accessible and as easy to work with and not to mention valuable. When we're popping out 3 or 4 games, even though that maybe none of those are extremely commercial successful, they all rate well. They all considered good games. It's easier for us to mingle in those situations and then put all our eggs into one basket, and then maybe that game doesn't do well.
And that flops, and then you take that creative risk. And one thing I do know is Grounded did extremely well for them. So I think it's like taking a page out of the Nintendo playbook, which is one thing I respect about Nintendo. I think all the games industry learns from is that, look, we can complain that, why is the highest fidelity on these games and why is the engine sucks, but look at the cost it made to make some of their games, and then look how much profit they get. So they're investing less as far as the graphical fidelity and all these other things. But, when them Pokemons come out, they get hands out of fists. But, so that's the trade-off. So I think the games industry is changing. And what Obsidian is saying, okay, we're not the big AAA. We're not Bethesda. But if we make these AA, they're cost efficient and we're still making profit, that's our value. And we could churn them out fast. So I've learned to expect, to answer your question along with the way, that they're not the AAA studio. They're just not. They are the highest of the AA. Right. And they're comfortable in that space. I just want them to push as far as being one of the best RPG makers. And a lot of that comes down to what Addict said, and also my damn romance, please.
All right. Let's move on to our next game, which, Addict, you've been playing this. Anno, I guess it'd just be 117 Pax Romana. Or if that's how you say it. It's Italian, I don't fucking know. Anyways, Addict, what the hell is this game? Talk to me about it.
So, Anno, keep in mind, I never played one of these games before. Ubisoft hit me up, and I ain't played an RTS to this degree in a long time. I would consider this like a Civilization more. That's not, because to me, Civilization is a little bit more strategic. This is a strategic game, but it's not as strategic as like a Civilization, because you can win Civilization multiple different variety of ways. This game is more of an RTS, but you still got like diplomatic solutions in here. You could pull up to people and be like, look, it's either you give me what I want or I'll pull up with people. And then sometimes people will be coming to you and try to talk left to you. Not to mention it's a city builder at its core. I'll be building like these small towns going around these mountains and stuff, and then like a big city somewhere. And sometimes I'll have like riots that I have to mingle down. And I remember I was like dealing with some kind of warfare or something, and then because it's co-op, that's the best thing about it. It's co-op, and my dude that was back, he was helping me do stuff. He looked, he's like, Addict, half our city just burned down. And I looked over there, and there's a fire that started, and I guess I didn't put enough of the buildings that like put fire out. That burned like half my damn city down. It was a little annoying. And then I go back, and you could do religion stuff. You can pick a god where all the gods give you bonuses on stuff. And I ain't gonna lie, there's a time where the money wasn't looking good in that game, because it'll be red or white, and if it's red, that means you are in debt to no one. Your citizens will just hate you, and so I'm sitting here like, we need money, And anything that came down to anyone pop up to us, have any kind of conversation, I'm like, oh, that's cute, but where's that money? Because the way you get money is taxes, building certain businesses, anything, and then sometimes you'll build something and it will take money instead of giving you money, because it's like you get money every couple seconds, and depending on how you build stuff, that's why you have to like build more population to tax more people. And there's just points where I started getting the money. I was getting like 800-900 gold every second, and I was doing good. And then I guess but I had no army,
right?
Because I put all of my money into like the infrastructure of my town, of my city, to make sure that I was profitable. And I forgot about the army thing. And then I see like 5 or 6 ships coming up. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be real with you. It's gonna take you, because I had the establishes built. I just didn't invest anything into it. I was like, you're gonna take half my city, but it was like they had to come a weird way. And ironically, I built like all of my buildings that would build armed forces like to the other side. I was like, and there is I have like walls, like sections of walls. Kind of looks like Attack on Titan. There's like section of walls that's going on. And I was telling them, I was like, by the time you get to the people where my people coming at, I'm gonna have so many people, it's gonna be unreal. Because I ain't gonna lie, if they came up on me, I was gonna build like 3 or 4. I was gonna pop 3 or 4 at a time. I was like, mess with me. I got the money to make your life hell. I just don't got the troops right now. But that won't take a whole lot of time. Thankfully, they chose not to start issues. They went back, but and then you'll have like people on the map that like pirates, like like there's a character that's a pirate. Dude's about smoke. If you're gonna have any dialogue with him, it's not gonna be a pleasant thing. You got to pretty much intimidate him not to pop off. If he sees you on the map, sometimes he'll just attack you for no reason. And then what's funny is you play either a brother or sister. If you the co-op, you plays them both. And the sister be having some of the most sexist stuff done to her on that, where she'll be trying to do something, and like the emperor's people would be like, you're a woman, you can't do that. I'm like, yo, it's a fun time. And keep in mind, like, it's been a long time since I played any of these, and it's like I said, I played like 7 hours and turned around and realized it was 7 hours, and I haven't really put time into this time. I came from like the age, what's that game?
Civ?
No, I played Civilization Revolution a lot. I played a lot of that. Stronghold Crusaders. I played a bunch of that. Right. Age of Empire. I played a little bit of it back in the day, but not like a whole lot. I came from like XCOM, the original XCOM. Came from that type of too. So, I kind of went towards those turn-based ones that like XCOM and stuff like that, and Final Fantasy Tactics, and kind of went away from the real-time RTSs. But I ain't gonna lie, I played that and like I was really, really enjoying it. Like Ubisoft, like I don't know if this is a popular franchise for them, because I've never really looked at it like that. But because I had my friend download, I was like, man, just download it. I was like, stop fighting me, just download the game. Did not go well, by the way. He's horrible at it. But he downloaded 1,700. And he's sitting there trying to join me. He's like, dude, it's not saying, it's not letting me. I'm like, dude, how do you download the whole wrong? No, it's 1,800. Yeah, how do you download the wrong game?
That's hilarious.
That's really funny. For someone who's like, I guess, new to these games, Addict, do you think this game does a good job of introducing them?
Yes and no. I do think that if you were to play this, I would recommend PC. I did play it on Xbox. And it does a good job with the controller ratio aspect. But I was getting a little confused, because what they do is that they'll put like the tree section where everything to do with lumber is in one category and you have to like toggle down. I didn't know about toggling down. For the longest time, I was like, why are you asking me to make tunics when I already used the building to make tunics? Then I realized I only built the one to get the materials for the tunic. I didn't build the actual store for the tunic. So I think a little bit better onboarding, and not like horrible onboarding. It's good onboarding. It's just they need sometimes when it comes to stuff like that, especially a controller, you should be a little bit more visual on like, look, there's multiple layers here, not just one.
Okay. I don't know if you could speak to this since I think you said this is the first one you've played of the series, but I'll read it anyway. This is from Monkey D. Luffy. Hi, Summoners. This is for Addict. How would you compare Anno 117 to Anno 1800? I'm a PlayStation-only player and picked up Anno 1800 on PS Plus a while ago and enjoyed it a lot. If I enjoyed Anno 1800, would I like 117? Do I like the... I do like the time period of 117 as I enjoyed Roman history, but how do the games compare? Thanks.
So I actually have two people that I've been playing this with that play the other ones. They said that they did a lot better job on, quality of life changes. I do think the co-op needs to be improved a little bit, where I like co-ops that play this where you could see what your allies looking at on the mini map. It doesn't have that, and I think they need to implement that. But they did a lot of quality of life changes on here. The individual told me that, he's played them all, got all the gamer score, and he liked this. So I would assume if you like Anno or whatever they want to pronounce it, you'll like this game too. I think that, because I looked it up when I saw the actual question, it looks like that game is based around 1818 in the 19th century, around the Industrial Revolution. So this is pretty much, Roman stuff like that. So I think if you like that time frame more, this is essentially the same game, better quality of life updates. I don't know if the last one's co-op or not, and in my opinion, a better time frame. So I would say they would like it.
Okay. All right. Cog, what about you? Any interest in a game like this?
I'll be looking at. I like these type of games in terms of conceptually, being able to, control the government and taxes and stuff like that. It just, for me, they're just so overwhelming. And like, I think the closest I came at it was like, what was it? Crusader Kings 3. I think that's probably the closest I came to getting into one of these type of games for, because they could take up a lot of time. It's just, for me, this is still RTS based, right? Correct or no? Is this?
Yeah, it's still it's the definition of RTS. Like, real time RTS is not like turn based. Civilization is more turn based than this game is. Because Civilization's got a lot more to do with like diplomatic. You can win through religion. You can win through armies. Multiple ways you can win on this. I do think there's probably multiple ways you can win on this because I've been playing the campaign. Yeah, and I could tell that like 10, 15 hours in, I'm still not really far in the campaign. But I would say that this is your traditional RTS.
Yeah, for me, that's never been like my thing, Brad. Like, I've never been like the huge RTS guy. I've always been more kind of biased towards turn-based. But I do like the concept of these type of games. I think it is, kind of fun to, to be, ruler and you dealing with the react. I do have a lot of Sim City love kind of thing. And it does satiate certain aspects of that where the people are upset and, you got taxing, you got rival things and stuff like that. I just wish, I don't know how it would ever work if there would be like a turn-based version, because I probably can't. You have to do it in RTS, and I think that's my struggle. That's why I kind of don't gravitate towards these type of games overall.
Gotcha. All right, dudes. Let's move on to what I've been playing.
Yes,
which is Metroid Other M. Now, with Metroid Prime 4 on the horizon, I was like, okay, let's revisit Metroid. I played through Metroid Prime Remastered last year. Just for context, I've beaten all these games before, so I'm just revisiting them. And I was like, let's revisit probably the most controversial Metroid game, I would say, out of all of them. Like, and I was like, all right, it's been a long time. I looked at this game came out in 2010. So it's been a while since this happened. And this is a really interesting game. There's some things I think are okay about it, some things I really don't like about it. One of the most things that'll stand out to people who have played it probably is just the story and the voice acting in the game. Samus is speaking a lot in this game when she previously hadn't, and there's a lot of cutscenes. Just for clarity, this is developed by Team Ninja. Koei Tech Model, that kind of stuff, Ninja Gaiden and stuff.
Usually makes them, don't they?
Yes. But this is their attempt at a Metro game, and one thing I like about the game is I appreciate the effort they did to make it a third-person 3D game. Because the only 3D Metro games we've ever had are really Prime games, which are first-person, and they work really well. But I was happy to see them to try to get a third-person perspective for Metroid, since it's historically a third-person franchise. And there's some cool stuff I like there is some cool action, and like if you guys have played Ninja Gaiden, you know pretty much you can if you cut off a limb like Ninja Gaiden 4, you can eviscerate them essentially and kill them in one hit. After there's kind of some stuff like that in Metroid, which looks really cool, like Samus jumping on top of something and just blowing away an enemy. All right, we're back. Sorry, we had a quick technical snafu. Apologies. But I was talking about Metroid Prime, and this is how I was saying this is a very interesting Metroid game. I like the third-person perspective, and I appreciate it. Works well enough. But this game has a lot of weird design decisions where I just don't understand. First of all, you play this entire game on a Wiimote, not with a duck or anything like that. No, you hold this sideways the entire time to move around. So you're holding it like this. You're playing like this the entire game, which is kind of weird in a game in a 3D space, and it's not always as smooth as I would say. Another interesting thing about the game is a cool idea, but it works okay in the game, but I wish it was just a button. I think that's a lot of stuff in the game is like, I wish it was just a button. There is first person. There's first person aiming in the game. You can swap into first person anytime. However, to do this, let's say you're holding the controller like this. To do first person, you need to rotate it like this. So then you have to see the game.
Like Zelda Skyward Sword.
Exactly.
Like when you throw stuff.
And I was having problems with this for a while. I was like, man, fucking Wii bullshit. Like, it's just not being as responsive as I want.
The Wii has ruined so many of my favorite franchises with their bullshit motion sensor
there's
stuff.
a lot in this game. And but then I was like, all right, I'm just going to scoot back quite a bit more. And it seemed to work a little better that way, but still not as quickly and fluid as I want. We've come a long way with motion controls from this back in 2010, thank God. Like using the sensor bar. First of all, I had to get out the Wii U to play this, and I was not happy. I was not thrilled. Punching up people, no, I hate the Wii U hardware. I hate it. So I had to get it out again.
Which
I never mind it. Like,
dude, the tablet, dog shit.
Tablet's not the greatest. I prefer to use the I think the Pro controller is a dramatic improvement. It's like
compared to the tablet,
you let me because essentially their tablet's the Switch 2 now. So like you let me put that in there. I don't got to use the tablet. Let me use the controller.
Yeah, that's a lot of this game and some games in the Wii era in general. It's just like I wish it was just a button. It would have been smoother and probably played way better. Like I'm imagining this game with 2 analog sticks, and it would have been so much smoother. Like the fact that I'm pretty sure you could not use a nunchuck, the little analog stick, to move around, which is very strange to me. But anyways, all that stuff aside, if you guys have played Metroid games, the audience or anything like that, Metroid games are where Metroidvanias come from. You know, it's about going through spaces, collecting power-ups, accessing new areas, backtracking, all that kind of stuff. Now, this game does have that, but I don't think any of it is done particularly well or it's that interesting. A lot, like when I think back to other Metro games, I'm like, where do I go? Kind of thing like this. Do I want to go this way or this way? I don't know what's going to come over here. Oh, this will wrapped around into a cool little shortcut. That's really rad. This game is very much, you run to a spot and it tells you on the map immediately, and it's usually very easy to get to, like kind of like a straight line almost. There rarely feels like any path diverging from the main path and stuff like that. There are, of course, secrets to unlock or to find and like additional things to get, like more missiles, more E-tanks, all that kind of stuff. But it's all usually in this one sort of room. And I never got that feeling of like really satisfying discovery throughout this whole game, which is a bummer. That kind of gets fixed a little into post-game, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But there's a lot of bosses in the game too. They're pretty creative. I respect it. But once again, you know, you're just kind of using a Wiimote. So it's not the most fun to play or the most clean and stuff like that. It's just showing his age in a lot of regards, especially during combat when you like have to swap to first person, like lock onto a certain spot to shoot a missile at him. And it's just not super elegant. I think this idea could work better like in VR or something nowadays. But for the Wii, it's definitely holding it back. And like I brought up, the most controversial thing about this game is the story and the way they portray Samus, I would say, in the game. First of all, this game is a sequel to Super Metroid right off the bat. So it kind of ties in stuff from that game, and the voice acting is just not good, especially for Samus. It's very bad. She is very stiff and very wooden, kind of feels like a robot, I would say. And a lot of times they try to humanize her a couple times, but it just does not come off good at all. Like, people complain about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, like Zelda's voice acting. That's like Shakespeare compared to this. It's crazy how robotic it feels a lot of times on a lot of the characters. And I appreciate it, because in the game, if you've played some Metro games, you're probably used to being alone the entire game, in which I'm totally fine with. But there are other characters in the game you run into occasionally, like these Galactic Federation guys. And I don't mind that. I don't mind Samus running into people, but these characters you run into just don't have a lot going on outside of maybe one or two of them. So if they die or something like that, I'm just like, I don't really give a fuck. It's like, who cares? Like, no one really cares about this kind of stuff. So from a narrative standpoint, I don't think they delivered super well on that. But it's a pretty short game, I would say, to get through the main game. It's probably like, I think I got through in like 6 hours or something like that, just for the credits. Once you do that, there is a post game, which it takes you back to the location you're at. But this time you have all the power-ups that you didn't have before. So you can kind of get some power-ups or use some of these power-ups like the super missiles to unlock doors you couldn't before. And it all just feels like a more traditional Metroid game in that sense, where I feel like I can actually explore a location, a big space, and find a lot of collectibles if I want them, because that's just lacking throughout the main game. I don't think I hate it in some ways that other people do as much, but it's not really a good Metroid game. Like, I appreciate the attempt about it, and there's things I like about it, like its presentation. I love how hard they went into like the cutscenes and trying to present a story for you to get involved with, but I just don't think it worked out very well. And that's probably why we never saw another Metroid game from Team Ninja. But I would love to see Metroid. Yeah, I would love to see them, or I would love to see Metroid do a third-person 3D game again. I think there's potential there, but got a lot to learn. I don't want them to be stuck in first-person only for 3D, is what I'm saying. It works really well, and I love it in first-person, but I would love to see them kind of flex a little bit more, get back to that third-person space. Addict, you played through this game, I assume?
Metroid?
Other M, yeah.
No.
No, back on the Wii.
Yeah, I was never really a huge Metroid person. Like, I played Metroid Prime 2. I think the other one was Corruption.
Yep.
But that's essentially
Echoes and 3 is Corruption. Yeah.
Yeah. That's essentially where like my Metroid Prime knowledge ends. It ends and begins there. I do know a lot of the lore because I'll like listen to videos about them. But I will say, because like I was so into like Zelda and Final Fantasy, that was always low on the totem pole.
Gotcha. Cog, what about you? What's your history with Metroid?
Yeah, I like Metroid. I'm one of the few that, you know, I wish it was. This is actually one of my favorite Nintendo franchises, and I wish it was actually on the echelon of the, you know, obviously the big boys, the Zelda, the Mario, stuff like that. I think there's a lot of potential. Obviously, with Wii U, I completely betrayed Nintendo. I was like, I do not agree with this vision. I don't want anything to do with this console. I'm good on that. So it's interesting to hear you talk about it, because I wanted to know, like, okay, what were they doing? What was the hook, right? And clearly it was the motion control. Clearly it was all these things. And for me, I call them kind of gimmicky gameplay stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But for its time, it was probably revolutionary, right? Yeah. So for me, I'm torn, because I like where they go. I play Dread. I like Dread, where they went in that space as well. And then I'm really excited for the new one. You know,
Prime 4. Yeah.
Oh, I'm really excited. So for me, it's just kind of like, listen to what you say. It's kind of like a history piece of things that they did as far as characterizing Samus, making sure, you know, they improve from that aspect, from a character development standpoint. And then what I'm very impressed is, you know, I'm from the era of the Super Nintendo, where like Nintendo used to be a graphical powerhouse. Like they used to drop very high fidelity kind of stuff. And I have to admit, when I was seeing the Switch 2's, you know, gameplay of the new Metro, I'm like, man, that looks really, really good. So I'm loving them in this direction. Now, as far as this question, I was going to throw back to you. Are you a 3D or a 2D, man? Like, what would you prefer? You like them in the 3D space?
I like them both. Yeah, okay. I like them both. I don't prefer one over the other. I think 3D is just more interesting for me because it's more ambitious. Like, for better or for worse, this game is, and I appreciate how ambitious this game was, Other M. I appreciate the risks they went for and swung for. I love when game developers do stuff like that. It just didn't pan out for this game. And it's like with 2D Metroid, like, I know it's going to be good. They know what they're doing with 2D Metroid. 3D Metroid is where I'm like, what can you expand upon and what crazy shit can you do now?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And then we obviously got Problem 4 Beyond and stuff like that. So, I'm excited that they still continue to invest in this franchise. I think the character is cool. I love everything about, being in this, like you said, alone. You have these abilities, you turn into a ball, you get the upgrades. I like the loop. And I've always been a fan of the series, so I like to support it. But it's good to see how far they've come.
Yes. Yeah.
From back then. Like that, I wasn't with it back then.
Yeah. So, yeah, Param 4 is, December 4th or something like that?
Yeah,
so very close.
Yep. That's
very
my
close.
anticipated Switch 2 game. That's the COD game for me. I'm the weird one that likes their weird franchises. I don't really, outside of Zelda, I do love Zelda, but I'm not the Mario person. Yeah. I'm like the Metroid, and then I like when they, do their little exclusives and some of their third-party stuff that they do. So this was the one that really got me excited for Switch 2. So
you're not a drag and drive guy, is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, Kirby and sucking stuff, and that's all you got.
I get into a lot of heat when I talk about Zelda.
But no, I like Zelda. I remember when I saw much called Breath of the Wild, I got emotional. I was like, wow. Yeah, that's cool. That's what I want to see, man. And I'll never forget that trailer, him climbing up the side of the wall. Then you have the what you call it, the step out moment, right?
Yeah,
you step out. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about.
I feel like the new Zelda games are really good, but they don't feel like Zelda games to me. Like they.
Well, yeah, you like the hardcore dungeons and stuff like that. As far as getting back to that, I feel
like they improved that on Tears of the Kingdom, but still, it felt like the soul of Zelda was gone in place for like this open world, climb whatever you want to climb. And it's a great game. I enjoy both of them, but I couldn't put Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, even Skyward Sword to a degree over any of them. So
sure. One thing I liked about the new ones, Addict, is it reminded me a lot of Zelda 1. This sense of exploration and being able to do things in every order. That's what I've always really respected about these games. I'm with you on the dungeons. I think they could be way better, and I miss that. And like a more coherent and well-structured story, I think would go a long way. But being on that world and exploring it at your own leisure is fantastic, and I hope they stay with that at least. Don't want to lose that.
No doubt.
All right. This is from Nevitz, who said, Brad, last year I played through most of the Metroid 2D games for the first time. I only have Dread left, but I also have Other M, since I got a good deal on it from a used game shop. Which game should I play first? The stinker and end on a high note, or play Dread, then laugh my ass off at Other M as the finale? Thanks. And the next year's Halloween costume better be Zero Suit Brad. That's not happening. Unless I had a really sick one. All right. Dread or Other M? The thing, if you do Other M, you will have something to look forward to, I suppose. You will have Dread to look forward to. If you're like, man, this sucks, I don't like this, at least I got Dread. But if you do Dread first, then you start playing. You might not
get through Other M.
Yeah, you might not get through it.
I'd rather play the good game after.
Good game after? A little reward. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Because I feel like if you play the bad game afterwards, speaking of myself, there's a good chance I get like 30 minutes. So like, what were they thinking? Just turn that off. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I'd rather play the bad game first. That way, it's like it's like you said, kind of like the reward thing. Because I feel like if I'm playing something that's dramatically worse, it's gonna impact everything about the bad game. Because at least I play the bad game before the good shit. It's like, okay, I could take it for what it is. But if I play the good shit and all I'm gonna do the whole game is like, see, this is why you guys doing better now. This is why you guys doing better now. Like, I wouldn't appreciate it in any way, shape, or form.
All right, boys, it's time for Sort It Out. Whoops, wrong note. On this segment, we talk about something we're not pleased with in the game industry. It could be whatever, anything, game, company, human, however personal you want to get. Cog, what do you got for me this week?
Well, today, as of recording, we are looking at the Game Awards and the Game Award nominations. And look, I want to be very clear. This is a stacked year. So I want to be fair at first. But I was looking at audio design, music, and saw some glaring omission that really bothered me. Now, I get it. There's a lot of games out here. And for example, looking at audio design music, and I'm not seeing South to Midnight, and it's bothering me. And I'm not saying South to Midnight is the game of the year. I'm not saying it's the best action game. I'm not saying any of that. The categories that I'm seeing South to Midnight in is like Aim for Impact and stuff like that. But I'm looking at best score in music, right? And Hollow Knight, Hades, Expedition, of course. Like some of these games, I get it. Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding 2. Now, Death Stranding 2, I did not play, so I will defer to you, Brad, as far as music. And do you feel, how did you feel?
Yeah,
right.
It was good.
So for me, though, when a game scores original music and it's built from the ground up, like that's literally the major part of what that game is. If anything is supposed to be nominated for South to Midnight, it's the music. And it was outstanding to me. And I just felt bad, for that team, Olivier Dervier, who's done a lot of great games. He's done that. He's done the Streets of Rage soundtrack. He's done a lot of stuff. And it's just kind of like, damn, this was the year that I was like, oh, it's a slam dunk for them to get a nomination. Not say they got to win. So I was just like, come on, man, we gotta do better. With the music category, man. I go hard. I used to actually say this for Destiny back in the day, because again, I know a lot of people don't like to play the live service games and stuff like that, but man, they used to have some amazing music. And look, I get it, music's subjective, but I do feel in South to Midnight's case, that's a glaring omission that they were not nominated in that category.
I feel that. I understand that.
Sort it out, Game Awards.
Yeah, I'm like looking at some of this stuff. I'm just now seeing it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Nominees for most anticipated game: Gold or Bond, Grand Theft Auto 6, Wolverine, Requiem, Resident Evil Requiem, Witcher 4. It's like no Kingdom Hearts 4, bro. All right, I see you.
They put Witcher 4, and I'm like, fam. That's like 5 years away, it feels like.
Yeah.
Like, my thing is, like, if you know for a fact that sucker's years apart away, why are we anticipating that now? Like, it's just like, because guess what's going to happen, Brad? Next year, that bitch is going to be there again. Like,
yeah. Probably.
That's what's up.
It's probably going to be there again. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But, Game Awards are very interesting. Very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, best audio design.
Mm-hmm.
Only 5 nominees for that, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, what are we doing?
That, you know what that means to me?
That
means to me is like people that voted couldn't even think of another game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because I used to vote on these things, and I remember our docket and stuff like that. Like what we would do for work, we would write down what we think. And I bet a lot of people just didn't know what to put.
Yeah, and what it still shows me, there's still a lot of, look, I get it, there's a ton of games, right? There's a ton of games out there. But it's just like, again, a lot of people didn't play. And I'm just like,
yeah,
man,
you can't, it's like, you can't play everything, and I get it, but it's just like, fuck, man.
Yeah, that was the thing. Just best score in music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, they definitely deserve that.
I think the reason that it probably didn't get to is because, like, when you're voting for these, like, you're voting on a high note, like games that you played throughout the year that you really, really enjoyed. And even though, like, South to Midnight had like a really good score, I felt like it lacked in so many areas where when people were looking at this particular thing, they didn't even care about the score. They're like, I don't even remember that game at this point. So, but when you look at like Death Stranding, all the other games, Expedition 33, Silk Knight, those games had such good high notes overall that they hyper focused on those games in general.
The only pushback I would say is that I was surprised to see South to Midnight nominated for like anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it was nominated in categories that I'm like, okay, it's in here. It's in like Games for Impact. It's in like these weird categories where it's literally not the strength of the game. So it's like, it almost feels like a consolation prize. It was like, well, we got to try to give them something. And I just felt like it's really a gross oversight where the whole entire game is based on music and the way it's incorporated into the game, and it's not there. So, but it's just me,
You know what? I bet a lot of people just forgot about the game. Honestly,
I think so.
But yeah, you can never make everybody happy on these things. But I always see stuff. I'm like, yeah.
Exactly. But look, over the years, they've gotten better. You know what I mean? I remember other categories, and I'm like, bro, what is this doing in multiplayer game? What is this doing in fight? Like, I'll be like, what is? So they've come a long way. And again, the only thing I will stress, this is an extremely competitive year.
Very competitive year.
And I will understand that part.
Yeah. I was hoping Arc Raiders would get nominated for Game of the Year.
They got nominated for best multiplayer.
Yeah, but to me, I think it should be a Game of the Year nominee. And I've played all of these games on here except Hades too.
Mm-hmm. Same.
But it's only 6.
I do think because Shroud got really visually attacked for it, because he said that he kind of like pushes people. Nah, we ain't about that expedition life here. Fuck that game. And he's a massive Twitch streamer. He's like, we ride at dawn. That we Arc Raiders is Game of the Year. Vote with your opinion. And I don't think that's right. I don't think you should like weaponize your audience to like attack something like that. But I do feel he has a point that there is an unfair bias towards multiplayer only games, and they're not even really considered whatsoever to being in something like that. Like Arc Raiders, what it's doing right now is just insane. Marvel Rivals, what it did this year is just insane, and both of those games didn't even remotely get looked at for Game of the Year.
And that's what been my core issue with it. I think it's what I consider genre bias, where it's people who just don't play competitive multiplayer games, or they don't play certain turn-based. Like, thank God turn-based is finally getting a resurgence now, because I remember a period where turn-based games weren't even getting nominated, and it would drive me crazy. So yeah, I agree with you, Attic. I think that it's a shame that a lot of the people who vote don't play those style of games, so they never get the nominations that I feel they deserve, and I kind of feel bad. It's just unfortunate.
Yep. All right, Addict, what about you? Anything you think needs to sort out this week?
I want the whole damn gaming industry to sort out this trend chasing.
Okay.
I'm tired of the whole gaming industry trend chasing everything. We gotta be the next Call of Duty. We gotta be the next GTA. We gotta be the next Fortnite. We need the best games as a service on the market right now. Especially looking at PlayStation, like you pretty much spiraled your whole damn company out of control to trend chasing. Oh, we need Concord. It's just like, I understand they want those games that's easier to monetize, but I do personally feel that the entire industry chased money so much they forgot the passion of actually making games. Where they looked at certain aspects of a game. Makes zero sense to be a game like a games as a service. Yeah, turn that bitch into a games as a service. And I'm not feeling that, because it's like, I feel like that's the reason a lot of the industry is kind of like rotten from the inside out. How is a single player game that's a phenomenal game going to compare to something that's been making money for 4 years? So if you can't make that money that you've been making in 4 years at this game's service, why greenlight this bitch? And it's like, and this thing's going to make you a lot of money, but it's not going to make you that money. But the problem is they want that money, and they're willing to sacrifice the budget that would take to make 8 of these games to hopefully get one of them bitches. And then none of them get this one. But all of them spend money, and then they end up, and then who gets the shit end of the stick? The people that work for them, the companies that make games for them, the PR that works for them, they're the ones that get the shitty end of the stick, because they overwent into games as a service or et cetera, et cetera. They had all these projections. We're having all these games as a service happen. None of that shit happened. Now we got to lay out 15,000 people. And it's just like, and I'm not saying not to go after games as a service. I'm saying do it smarter. Like, Bungie, PlayStation. How is Bungie, to this day, I cannot stand Marathon, because it single-handedly killed the game I loved with every vibe in me. People are like, well, that's not Marathon's fault. So be it. It's Marathon's fault to me. It's like, how is Bungie going to sit there and be like, you know what? This game's making us a lot of money. You know what the best decision is, Brad? Let's make this. It's like, let's have the skeleton crew on this, and let's make this game. And then this game is spelling, and they killed this game in the process. Now both games ain't possible right now. Like,
live service trend chasing, man. It's out there. It's out there.
It's like people see now. It seems like extraction shooter is the next thing. Now everyone wants an extraction shooter, and I don't know how deep this rabbit hole goes. I mean, we had the Fortnite and PUBG pretty much spawn 50 clones in 10 years.
The Battle Royale
and most of those games ain't even around anymore. So it's just like, it's frustrating because the only people that suffer from that is the gamers that play the games, the developers that make the games, because the people at the top, they don't seem to ever get repercussions. They don't seem to ever get punished. You know, they push the whole damn company into making 10, 15 games as a service. Nothing happened to the people at the top that signed off. But guess what? Studios get closed down. PR people that work on I mean, Square Enix, how many bad decisions they made in the past 5-6 years?
A lot.
Now they're starting to be on a better trajectory, a better path, but it's just like, what is enough? Like, and it's like, you know, we've seen more and more going into games and stuff. Now, God forbid GTA 6 comes out and is a monumental. Then we're going to go back on that. We need games like GTA out. Like,
the trend chasing is real.
People want Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, you know, I guess we could put Arc Raiders. They want that type of money, but they don't have that type of product
or skill.
That part.
That's my rant.
All right, very good.
I told you I had like 8 other things I could say, but one at a time.
I'm just gonna piggyback off Cog. Just Game Awards nominees. I understand. Yeah. You're not going to like everything that's on here. It's totally fine. But I can still complain if I want.
Of
so
course.
Fuck them.
No doubt.
All right. Boys, let's hear from the audience some of theirs. This is from Jordan Ray. Sorted out Bethesda. This company just sucks. Damn. The Elder Scrolls 6 was announced 7 years ago. And the only news we get is it's not coming anytime soon. Fallout 4 hit 10 years old, and Bethesda treats the community to an even more broken version of the game, which itself was mid at best. Damn. Todd is off doing irrelevant side quests, refusing other, more talented, better organized, better suited studios to take over. They're lucky Bungie and Firewalk Studios have been nightmare purchases for Sony, or Bethesda would be competing for the worst acquisition in gaming. No positivity here. Once again, this company sucks. Damn. Okay.
Damn. You got feelings.
Yeah. Holy shit.
You got to listen. I can't condone that Fallout. I listened to Batty go off.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, man, I didn't know it was like that. So he broke it down. Yeah, I'm not excusing none of that. And I guess my main thing with them is just like, I am just tired of products from them that when they do release, there's always
a catch.
We're still working on that. This part is broken. And at this point, it's like you've developed this reputation with just, I don't know if it's just horrible QA, whatever. But I mean, what I will say is only slight pushback I'll give Jordan is just that we ain't act like Indiana Jones wasn't that fire, though. like, so it's not like they didn't do anything that was good during that period. But I understand the frustration. Everybody wants Elder Scrolls. Everybody. Like that's just what it is. What it did show me, though, is when Oblivion dropped, when they do drop that particular game, that is a mover. So I get it. They deserve all the smoke.
Has power for sure.
Yeah.
That IP.
They deserve all the smoke, broken versions of stuff when it's released. And
I mean, Doom Dark Ages was good. So.
And Dark, so it's like I can't say that they the worst.
Their RPG market ain't doing the greatest right now.
Yeah, they've been quiet. I know everybody wants. See, what it is everybody wants the big stuff from them. The Fallout, the new Fallout game, and the new Elder Scrolls game. And stuff is taking real long. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I just wanted to give some nuance with that one.
Sure. All right. This is from Florida Man. Sorted it out. Games industry. As you all fight over the crumbs of your fans, Steam is over here about to try or trample your market with a Gabe Steam box that will play all our games on Steam and whatever else you want it with. So I guess we are truly getting one box to rule them all. Steam machine.
Yeah, how do you feel about it, Brad? I didn't get a chance to speak.
It's cool. I won't buy one, but I think it's a cool device. Like, I know people that it would be good for. For me, no, I don't really care because I just play on PC mostly.
Okay.
And so it doesn't really appeal to me like a mid-range PC spec kind of thing on my TV. I'm like, nah. not really for me, but I get the appeal to it. And I get like, if you just want to, if you play in multiple rooms or stuff like that, you're like, oh, I just want to play on my TV. I understand that, but it's just personally not for me. I'm happy to see them come into the space, though. I think it's cool. I think competition like this is good. And I like Valve a lot as a PC gamer. They've been awesome for me forever. So I'm happy to see it, but it's not for me personally.
I personally think, depending on what Steam actually committed to, because we kind of really, they just told us it exists. They didn't really tell us like what kind of front they're doing.
Right.
We don't know how serious they are, because to me, I personally feel like they are trying to bite into the console market. They see Xbox, slowly wandering out of it, and they feel like, oh, we can actually get in it to a degree. How serious they're going, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, because there's more having your storefront on PC. There's difference than that, and being in the console industry. There's a lot. There's some upkeep. Right. You constantly have to reach out to developers. Steam's so big, you can't. They're like, oh, release on the biggest platform on PC or don't. We don't care.
Yeah.
But when you go in the console thing, it's like, people look. They just look at like the box. But I'm looking at, if we do crossplay, is that considered a console or a PC?
It's a PC for this. This is a PC.
But you get what I'm saying. Like the logistics down the road, how serious are they going on this? Because when they look at something like that, it's like, they truly, if they're using this as an extension of Steam, then I don't think it matters, because that's what they're looking at. But when you use words like affordability, to me, when you lower prices, you're trying to get into as many houses as possible, because they can easily make a PC that's very good, $700, $800, $900, and it would sell relatively good, just like the Steam Deck did. But that's not the energy they're giving. We want to be affordable. Not to mention they kind of, when you're looking at the trailer, it kind of looked very casual friendly. Oh, you can just pick this up and play wherever you want. To me, that's screaming, we want the console market. How serious they're going to the console market, I don't know, because there's practices that's in the console market that's not practiced on Steam. And are they willing to step into those circles? And I don't know if they will or not.
So my idea is they're going to handle this like how they handle everything, and doing it their own way, and not really caring about how anyone else does it. And if things work for them, cool. If it doesn't, they'll try something new. They don't seem to be really worried about it. To me, it feels like with Valve, they're just like, yeah, we just want to put out cool shit that we like. That's the vibe I'm getting.
I feel you, but I think the pushback I would give you on that is that this was their initial going into it. That's one thing, but they've done this before and that didn't work out. So I'm looking at it, that's like, you're willing to do this again. What's the different mindset this time?
Yeah, both. I hear both of you guys. I think it is interesting. First of all, I love the design of it. I thought it looked cool. What do they call it? The GameCube.
The GameCube, yes.
Yeah, it looks cool to light. It's a dope looking device, and I was surprised to see them jump in. So for me, obviously as a person who loves Xbox as a platform, I'm like, they trying to jump into the space potentially that Xbox is doing. That I would say hybrid, but kind of that area. So I'm like, all right. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, okay. It's like what Alex said. I need to see how serious you are, because, like you said, Brad, you surprised. Like you said, like, I'm not interested per se, right? So to me, I have to look at it. Okay, why? Who's the target demographic here? Who? If it's affordability, that's smart. If it's storefront, is this going to be available where little Timmy can pick it up from a Target or Walmart? And I'm going to assume no, right? And the other thing is when it comes down to the games, and Steam has to show me, hey, we are really committed to first-party games or exclusives, or changing our practices with past games. Like, I remember, when I got a Steam Deck, one of my major frustrations, I remember when I was speaking to Jimmy, it was like Destiny 2 was popping at the time. And I was just like, bro, I'm ready. And they're like, no, it's a Linux-based OS. You can't play none of that on that because it's anti-cheat. And I'm like, what? And it's like literally all the biggest games, which all the casuals play, weren't able to play it on that device. And I'm like, well, they've got to address that part so that if they show me that, hey, there's a commitment to, hey, these practices and anti-cheat stuff like that, because at the end of the day, the casual guy is not installing a Windows OS and
Right.
doing all this stuff to do that, to play Fortnite or to play, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's what people are playing. They're playing the biggest games in the industry, and you have to, because the case in point, when college football came out, that actually sold Series S's and PlayStations. You know what I'm saying? Like, people wanted to play these casual, big kind of games all the time. So that's what I need to see for them. But again, like Addict said, it's just the announcement right now.
Yep.
You know, we'll see, you know, if there's more, you know, aspects to it.
And not to mention GTA 6 ain't coming out on that bitch.
That's
No,
super
yeah,
L.
it's not.
That's a super
So
L. Like,
it's like
yeah.
situations like that where it's like, look, there's other companies that do something similar that Steam
Right.
doesn't have to raise a finger to, and
Right.
it gets people in their ecosystem. So why is Steam trying to do it? And they've already failed once,
They have.
cost them probably a pretty penny, and they're willing to jump into it again. And I have to see why.
I agree.
What is different this time?
Yeah, I agree. And Brad said it best. To me, this feels like, hey, we're doing something as of right now, based on the information we know right now. It's like, hey, we're doing something so you could be part of our ecosystem.
Yep.
Because you like, and we know their OS it's beautiful. I just need to see more to see how much more of a commitment it is.
I
actually
think
to console game.
a lot of this was done because I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, that they're saying we saw a lot of people using data playing their Steam Decks on like TVs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So we want to give you like an ulterior version.
Ulterior motive, right?
Yeah, like a different version, like more powerful, of course.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about this is I have several real life friends who don't really play video games that much, but they were asking me about this kind of stuff.
That's interesting.
Because these kind of guys, they're not even consider playing. They're not even thinking about playing on Xbox or like PlayStation or anything like that. They're just like Steam focused. That's where they want to be. So this is like a good alternative for people like that, especially when we see how Xbox turns out. Of course, it's going to be more powerful, but it's going to be very expensive. And time and time again, we have seen often the most expensive, most powerful thing is not the market leader.
Is not the market leader. No, and that's a good point. The only thing I will say is that, again, if the new Xbox or whatever, you know, PlayStation, it's playing all the popular games, and you can't play Zelda on that, and you can't play, you know what I'm saying, Ghost of Yotai. You know what I mean? Like, then it becomes an issue. And then we see what PlayStation right now, with the rumors, with the cross-buy, they seem to be, basically, I think Steam is now in a position where they're stronger, right? And they're like, PC is on the rise. But I'm also seeing like PlayStation say, hey, we're going to put things on our own storefront, and you got to get it just from us, you know, kind of thing. And to basically, Steam was the cool friend that you're like, all right, I'll give you stuff later. But now if they're doing this, I'm curious to see how the big three, so to speak, respond to the way they deal and interact with Steam. If they feel threatened in any way, which would be interesting.
Yeah, Steam is interesting because it's the one platform I know personally many people who will not play a game unless it's on Steam.
Facts.
They are totally fine with not dealing. They don't want to deal with anything else. Facts. If it's 2 more clicks or anything like that, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
And Valve has that kind of power, so I'm curious to see how they'll leverage that. But
I'm going to be real with you. That's some lame.
You hate that.
I mean, that's not going to play. I want to play anything, and I'll play on any platform to play something like that.
The same PC people that come at me and say, "Addict, this is easy. You need to come over here to PC full time. We have all these options." Same people say, "I'm not buying it unless it's on Steam." Like, so you can't sit here and tell me with a straight face that you care about an open platform, but then bitch, it's only on the platform you want on PC. Like, it's like they use. It's like they. Damn, it's not console warring, but it's like their version of console warring. They're okay to use that as a fight, but then when it comes to what they personally want, that's not anything related to what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know how they say sometimes you're attracted to what's not good for you.
They got a dominant position in the storefront, and they like Brad said, they've amassed such a loyal following that I remember when Epic was trying to be aggressive and was giving games away. People were like, I'm not opening that storefront. I'm like, damn.
You know why? Because the Epic storefront was not good.
True.
Launch, and I think that burned a lot of people. And a lot of people, all it takes is one inconvenience, and people will never come back.
Good point. And to their credit, they've established over the years and the learnings such a dope storefront. I even get on Microsoft. I'm like, bro, like, The way they handle offline games is excellent. Like, you guys need to be, I don't want to be doing any online check, and like Steam has it down. And I think that's what over the years, if you're going to compete, people want that base level of functionality.
I think also too, when it comes to developers and publishers, you go tell Steam that you can't make an offline mode. Okay. It's like on PC, they do have a monopoly. Let's just be honest here. They're by far the biggest store. And it's just like one of those things where it's like, the console people have a lot of leverage. None of them have more leverage than Steam. Steam, like, there's not really another place to go on the PC platform. It's like, you either come here or my fans are gonna destroy you. And what's funny is Steam will literally, and I don't have an issue with review bombing. I do think it's kind of like a crazy practice that most of the time has nothing against the actual people making the game. And it's like, you shouldn't be bombing a game that you never played just to do that. Right. But it's like, at the same time, Steam allows that most of the time. And they're like, yeah, you can review bomb on our platform to your game. We have no control over that. Because even Metacritic, they'll go through there and they'll like, these people are being disingenuous voting, and they get rid of those. But it's just like, I don't, it's one of those situations where it's like Steam has so much power in this industry, and you never really know, because they have that much influence on the PC market. You never really know where their motives stand, because they already have the majority of the market on PC. Like,
they're a dominant player before. I mean, I particularly don't think they're a monopoly based or like letter of the law. But to your point, Addict, developers literally came out with an article and said they feel that they're. So I thought it was interesting that developers said that. And I was like, wow, okay. So yeah, look, they're a dominant player. There's no, denying that.
Yep. Let's see here. Big dumb stupid idiot wrote in and said, "Hail, Iron Lords, and also Brad. Sort it out to all those dorks pissing and shitting themselves over NPCs in Metroid Prime 4. I love Metroid, but it doesn't put in the crazy sales numbers. I believe Retro Studios is attempting to do what Halo hasn't done in 16 years, make a truly great sci-fi shooter campaign. I hope Retro does this, because I know Halo Studios will always be fraudulent. Have a Steam stole my whole flow, word for word, bar for bar kind of day." Damn. That sounds like something you would have said, Cog.
Yeah, they did the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So what's going on, Brad? You tell me. What's the NPC controversy?
There is a video that came out. Like, some people had hands-on with the game, I guess, early impressions of the game. And I haven't watched this, so I don't really know, because the game's so close I don't want to see. But there is apparently a very chatty and annoying NPC in the game, and that's all I really know about it. To me, it's like, well, how much are they in the game? How is it in the actual context of the game? Is the game character meant to be annoying and Samus is annoyed by the character? I need to know more of these kind of things before I'm ready to fucking call the game dog shit and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. I've been around for a long time, like you, Cog. Like, we all seen shit like this happen constantly. So this ain't nothing new for me. It's just business as usual.
Dude, did you see this clip? I didn't see it.
I
heard it's a clip going around. I just saw the stills of it, but I was just curious.
Yeah,
if anybody
that's all I saw. No, I was like, I'll just wait and fully judge it. But I was playing. How did Halo
come into this conversation?
I was playing Other M during this, so I was like, what's the big deal? This is just Other M again.
Just Other M, yeah.
I don't know. but
that's a sentence that Metro fans don't want to hear.
I know. I know. It just better not be the whole game. I don't care if you have a cringe character a little bit here and there, but not the whole fucking game. And I doubt they will be. So we'll see.
I'll wait till I see.
All right, boys, the exact opposite. Keep it up. Stuff we're pleased with in gaming. Cog, are you pleased with anything right now?
Yeah, again, this is a big news week, so I was happy to see an announcement from Xbox on Xbox Play Anywhere titles. I have been lashing them. I have been so angry with them with this. This is an Xbox marketing, which I think it's cringy a lot of times, to be honest with you. But, I will say, yes, it does get people talking. Whether something is an Xbox or not is a whole nother discussion. But my thing is, if you're going to make these statements and you're going to have this vision, you cannot have gaps where I pick up your titles on your platform and they do not have the This Is Play Anywhere functionality, especially new games. If you will give me an excuse to say, hey, the technical lift, we have to go back, I'll roll my eyes at you. I still think you should say that this is Xbox when everything I can't play on my ROG Ally is not, on my digital library from Xbox. I'm still going to give you smoke. But now when you say, you know what? Here's a whole showcase of all these games and everything that we're going to show you from our third-party partners are Play Anywhere titles. Now, I would like to see if maybe a Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, a Shinobi Art of Vengeance hits the list, a Final Fantasy Tactics hits the goddamn list. I would like that because these are new games that should be part of this service, especially when Square Enix games like Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake are Play Anywhere titles. Where Sega games like Yakuza, you see what I'm saying? Like there's these weird inconsistency gaps that I can't stand. But for keeping it up, I will give them this. They are making a Play Anywhere showcase. That is a good step in the right direction. So keep it up. I'm going to keep the foot on your neck every time. But I like seeing this type of direction. And hopefully I get some announcements that I can actually smile about this week.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, probably figuring this out with each developer and publisher, what game is going to be Play Anywhere and how that'll work. Because let's be real, the developers, publishers, they want you to buy it twice.
Well, for sure. Yeah, but again, my thing is, I wish I had more clarity on it. And to your point, there could be a lot behind.
So you didn't have to guess every time, at least.
Yeah, it's just weird to me when a publisher has 80. This one publisher that's working with you on this has 80% of the games, but this new game, no.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah,
that's why when it comes to push stuff that you can do by yourself, I don't like this mindset that Microsoft has where we're going to sell you Play Anywhere, but we can only really guarantee you with our titles. Like we're at the mercy of everyone else.
Right.
It's like when you're looking at your stuff, always rely on your stuff. Don't, because that's all Play Anywhere really is. It's like you could take your game library anywhere you want. They're trying to expand it to more third party stuff, but it's just like like right now it's good with Square Enix. Besides Tactics, I would say they did a really good job with that.
Really
but
play Tactics on my
but they have made a huge move to make that happen. They've been very clear. They went over to Japan multiple times over and over again. My thing is, it's good now, but what happens when, we ain't sending you back to Japan 3 more times next year? Like, what's when those relationships start to shake a little bit? And it's just like, if Microsoft's not footing the bill to make sure these games come over, do they have the Play Anywhere title? If they stop putting in that effort, does all that work start to go down the drain? I don't know, because it's just like, that's why I said, go into practices that you can guarantee with your titles. And I feel Microsoft's too much right now on everyone else's time and not their own.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just happy that this thing exists. I'll give some flowers. When I see an effort, and I'm like, all right, that's good.
It'd be interesting, Cog, is if Sony did something like this, like if their storefront comes out, something like that, maybe more people will just be doing it all together for some things, or they could convince other being like, well, we can at least, if we're going to do one, we can do 2 now, at least for 2 different storefronts or platforms. So maybe that'll help it. I'm not sure if that'll work.
And not to mention, it's Sony. They own a lot of the console market specifically. They would have a little bit more bargaining chips when it comes.
Oh,
to
of course,
like
yeah,
of course.
It's kind of hard for Xbox to be like, well, then don't put your game on there. Okay, we won't.
Yeah.
So they have a lot more red tape to go through, because like you're like the ultimate negotiating tool is I'm gonna take my ball and go home. But Microsoft don't really have that tool. Like,
no, right now
they're one of the few people in the industry that doesn't have it. So when a company knows that, they have all the marketing, all the negotiating tools on their end, and Microsoft, they really only got one tool: is money.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping for Tactics for you, Cog.
Yes, please. The Tactics and Shinobi Art of Vengeance, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I would never, ever play a game that Cog asked me to play again, ever again. I played through all of Shinobi, Brad, and he said he would play Tactics. That man put 30 minutes into Tactics, never touched it again. I was like, I should have left that Shinobi alone.
First off, I have an excuse. We have 4 games coming for review right around that same time, including a handheld, right? And then again, my frustration was just that I thought for sure it was a Play Anywhere title. Because I was like, oh, the Square relationship's good. I'm playing 16, 7. And I was just like, why is this? And I'm like, okay, so I got to play I got to buy the Steam version. First of all, I play on my Xbox predominantly. But when I travel, I'm like, man, I don't want to do all this stuff over. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what it is. So I will get to it now that we have downtime so Addict can stop cursing me out. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the voice acting and tactics is amazing. I was like, damn, this game looks really, I just want to take I'm an achievement guy. I love my data and my achievements to go with me. I don't want to play that on Steam. And then they come out with, this is why I held out for 16. Literally was the reason why I held out for 16. I was like, I don't want to start this, go super investment on PlayStation. I know it will eventually come. And then I got to do the whole thing over again. That frustrates me, especially on the ecosystem that I prefer to play it. That's all it is. You are right.
You got to let go of the achievement trophy mindset. They're great and they're fun.
A while ago.
You gotta let it go to play those games, baby. Gotta let it go.
See, I go with the same. Now. It don't matter if I got the game for free. I don't care what ecosystem it is.
Like that, man. Yeah. Like I just
you get it, and I love it. You love it. I get it, but you gotta go where the games are, baby.
Oh, for sure. And don't get me wrong. I've broken the rule.
Your ass do anything
and us as content creators, we've had to break the rules because a lot of times the PC version will be the version that's available to cover. You know, say, what your code that you get, kind of thing. So I get it. It's just me. So I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you the 100% reason. That game is a perfect handheld game.
But you have it on Steam, so that's not an excuse. Again,
I don't want to buy the Steam version. You keep telling me
you have the Steam version. You don't have to buy it.
Bro, I don't want to do all that. And then we have this partner showcase and they're like, yeah, here it is.
I feel you.
5 hours. You just put 20 hours. Here it is now.
It's worth waiting
yeah, so let me wait it out.
But then you're going to have to buy the Xbox version.
Yes, I'm willing. I want to support.
You hear this, Brad?
This habit. I want to reinforce positive behavior. When you do things that actually are part of the vision, I want to reward that. I want to give you all the money and say, yes, that's what I want to see from you guys. And hopefully Square gets a bag too.
Yeah, it's funny, Cog about that free 99 till it's not.
Yeah,
fair enough.
What if it doesn't get announced as backwards or Play Anywhere?
I already have the Steam version of it now. I'm just holding it. I have the Steam version of Shinobi Art Adventures. It just, bro, I don't want to do those riffs again. I don't want to do all that hard.
Those riffs are not easy,
bro. It's brutal to start. I'm like, man. So that's why I'm just holding out to the end of the year. I had the same thing that happened to me with Final Fantasy 16. Right? And I'm like, bro, I am smiling so much. I'm like, it paid off. My long way I'm playing with Clive. I'm doing all of the quests. I'm like, this is great. I'm playing on my handheld.
And that's like a really iffy like territory because not only you have to wait for the game to come to Xbox, now you have to wait, is it Play Anywhere so I can play it on the go as well. It's like, man, I just don't have the control. If I want to play something, I can't. I physically can't stop myself. I'll be like, man, I'll play it on a potato. If that's the only place I have to play it, I literally cannot stop myself.
No, we all got preferences, and it's all fun.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah. And last point, where I break my rule is how like Baldur's Gate and Cyberpunk does. You do the cross progression.
Yeah,
when you log in the account. Come on, guys.
I think cross progression should be a standard thing. I can understand crossplay because sometimes they do want you to double dip.
For sure.
I feel like cross progression would encourage more buying double
two
dipping.
Copies, yeah.
I'm giving y'all game developers. You want multiple copies, this is what you got to do for cop.
Yeah, take note. All right. Let's see here. Oh, Addict. You didn't go yet, did you?
Yeah, what's your keep it up?
Yeah, what's your keep it up, Addict? You got anything?
Yeah, I think I want smiley face Addict. What you
smiley about? Thumbnail Addict.
My keep it up is I want people to I've been told for the past 2 decades that turn-based isn't shit, that I have unrealistic expectations to feel like games should be turn-based. And now I've had 2 years in a row where turn-based came up to your favorite game and said, get down and stay down. Obscure did it this year. Metaphor did it last year. Turn-based. Baldur's Gate did the year before. 3 years, motherfucker.
Oh, you pop it off.
So it's just like, and it's just like especially Final Fantasy fans. It's just like
careful, Brad. But
that's fine, Brad. I think we're all
not invite you. You better be careful.
I think we're the opposite adjacent when it comes to Final Fantasy. That's cool. See, the difference is I'm willing to admit that their games are fun. Yo people's the one that ain't willing to admit my games are fun. So it's a you guys issue, not a me issue. What?
I love turn-based games. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the. He said you were opposite of me. So
I like the modern Final Fantasies as well. I like turn-based.
I like them all. I just don't like 16.
Here we go.
You don't like 16. Okay.
Here we go. Yeah, this is when you're not coming back. I want to see you not come back. Get him, Brad. Get him.
Anyone that's this fucking revisionist history people talking up 13 nowadays, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
So who's talking? No, 13 trash too.
It's been on the internet. Have you seen the internet, people? This happens all the time.
13 was the hated Final Fantasy for a decade. Now all of a sudden people love that shit. I don't know why. 13 is the worst Final Fantasy than 16.
Dude, 16 is better than 15.
They in hell eating lunch with each other.
It's better than 15. Come on.
Oh, you think 16 is better than 15?
Yeah.
I would say that's an argument, but we're comparing what shit shines the best.
Oh my God.
Damn.
No, here, look, 16 had a very good story, very good adult tone, very good atmosphere. The combat kind of like slipped me a little bit.
Gotcha.
And I really felt like what makes Final Fantasy, the core Final Fantasy, was not in that game at all.
What is it? What is that to you?
I feel like Final Fantasy, first off, it's, about the not turn-based, but like, I'm looking at like the elemental system, like the fact that you can hit a bomb on that with fire and he doesn't absorb it. And he's done that every game for every generation known to man. I feel like the characters with Final Fantasy, like I do feel like the characters in general, but just like the gameplay, like, they have all this elemental stuff, but I felt like the elemental stuff meant nothing in the entire game.
Oh, well, it's because it's an action game. It's like, but they don't want to limit they don't want to like be like, hey, you can't use this form in combat right here. We don't want to do that kind of shit to you. We want you to experiment and find your play style. It's an action game. It's not
but that's RPG. Where the road splits. Where it's like, we're going to take aspects and we're not going to evolve those aspects, because it's like, and to me, it's like you could have had nice story tones where it's like some of these summons should not be fighting some of these other summons. They're literally weak in lore to some of these summons. It would have been a nice little thing they could have put in the story. It's like, I don't hate 16. Sure. I just am very disappointed as like a core Final Fantasy fan. I actually probably don't like 13 more than 16. 13, Lightning is the epitome of someone I don't like. What's that? It's like, that shit I don't like.
16 for me was like, oh, they're getting back on track. Actually, they know what Final Fantasy is actually now.
Really? I felt
thematically wise, character wise, gameplay. Sure, if you don't prefer that gameplay style, that's fine. I understand that. Like, I prefer the seven trilogies combat over that.
I like that gameplay. I feel like that's a good middle ground.
But it was the best I felt about Final Fantasy in a long time. Where I was like, okay, after 10, 2, 12. And I know people love 12. I didn't play Zodiac Edition, though.
Vaughn.
But I was like, okay, getting back on track here, boys. So,
okay. All right.
But there's room to improve, of course.
I like these perspectives. This is good.
Cog did that on purpose, by the way.
Yeah, he did. It's okay. We do it to him all the time.
Exactly. Let me have my fun, goddammit.
Yeah. Okay, boys, just for mine really quick. So,
yes.
As the audience knows, I'm a humongous Zelda fan, and it's the reason why I played games when I was very little. It's what got me into games. There's a Zelda movie coming out, a live-action Zelda movie. And when I heard about this, I was like, oh, fuck.
Who's making it?
Sony Pictures is the producers on it, so that's not a good sign right away. Yes. Yeah. Sony's working with Nintendo on this. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Luminous or whatever that
but we saw a couple screens of the movie actually. Now I'll put them in the chat for you guys right here.
If you want to look at this, I'm going to cry to myself to sleep.
And I saw this and I was like, okay, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks pretty good. Now there's a lot they have to prove still, a lot, but from a visual just standpoint of seeing Link and Zelda like this, I'm like, okay, this looks pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah, and Zelda has been notorious with arrows, so it would make sense that she has a bow.
Yeah.
This got to be in the beginning because he naked. He got shit on.
He's got. I really hope in the movie they give him his hat. If they don't give him the hat, I'm going to be disappointed.
You need the hat.
You got to have the green hat, dude. Because he has the tunic on right now and everything.
You think he'll get different color tunics throughout the show or movie or whatever?
Nah, I feel like that's sequel shit. Give him the Zora tunic or something like that. But maybe, who knows?
They found a good person to play Link. I will say
they did.
That
the casting, I think, has been good so far.
I agree.
I don't know who this chick playing Zelda is, but she plays the role. She kind of gives me like a Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild Zelda.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a big inspiration. But we shall see.
Classic look. So far, so good. So far,
yeah, just from what we've seen so far, so good. So
sounds good.
Could be way worse. I hope it's not. Miyamoto is heavily involved in the movie.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
we like that.
Like he's the one that like put out these pictures and stuff like that. So if he is there, kind of as the North Star for the series not to lose its way,
he needs complete creative control.
Yeah, why the tweet from Nintendo? Like, this is Miyamoto.
Yeah, Miyamoto does that every time. Because when he says that, you listen up. We all listen.
Ooh, he dropped it with his name. This is Sparta.
Yeah.
I guess Miyamoto has the I could just see him at the airport switching Twitters. Sitting down.
I know, like he got the Nintendo account control, like how we do the ILO podcast. Yo, this is me.
This is me.
I like this, right? Miyamoto out. Salute to the flex. Yeah. I like that.
But yeah, we shall see more.
One day my name is big enough to where I can just be on a Nintendo Twitter. This is Miyamoto, bitches. Look at this awesome shit I got going on.
Mm-hmm. He's got that power. When you make Zelda and Mario, you got that power.
Yeah, because I mean, you can make an argument there's been worse Zeldas, but every Zelda has been like shifting the industry forward.
Mm-hmm.
So
in some way, yeah. All right. Let's hear from the audience here. This is from Millsauce. I just wanted to issue a keep it up to LSM as a whole. You band of psychopaths continue to pump out fantastic content on the daily, whether it's for LSM or of your own endeavors. Thanks for keeping me sane throughout my grueling 6 days a week work schedule at the General Motors assembly plant. Hey, thank you, Millsauce.
Love, salute.
We're getting up to grind time, Cog.
Yeah,
it's coming up. I got to schedule stuff. I just saw that. I was like, oh shit, I got to plan that Game of the Year episode.
Oh yeah.
But it'll be fun. All right. This is from Zane. Hey, Summoners, I like to provide a keep it up and a game recommendation. Hey, you're getting too far. I'm going to just give you keep it up. You can't do a game recommendation also. For Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Yes, really. While the co-op campaign may not be everyone's cup of tea, multiplayer and zombies are fantastic, and Treyarch has been incredibly responsive to feedback. Will Cog and Addict be checking out this hot new Game Pass release? Thanks. I gotta be honest, from everything I heard about this game, including friends who have been playing it, no one's super hot on the game right now. Everyone's pretty lukewarm on it. But Cog, are you gonna check this shit out?
Yeah, we'll check it out when it comes to Game Pass. I know obviously we got a chance, some of the guys got a chance to play. I haven't got a chance to play it yet. But like I remember when the announcement, I liked the idea of the co-op campaign and stuff like that. Now I did see Addict, you remember Cactus HD from Big Time Destiny content creator? He had a clip, and I don't know how true it is. It looked like they were fighting a boss that was like the witness.
That's an actual boss.
That's really in the game?
Yeah, that's an actual boss.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely has my eyebrow raised. I don't know what's going on. I don't know the context. So look, I'm willing to give it a shot. Shout out to Zay. We'll see what happens. But to your point, Brad, I heard mixed things so far on this campaign, but trying to be open-minded. And look, for me, I'm still a member of Game Pass, so it'll be $3.99 for me to check out.
Yeah. And I saw people complaining like, this is too wacky. I'm like, bro, it's like the 30th Call of Duty. Who gives a fuck, dude? They put out like a new one every year. If they want to get weird in one of them, it's fine. You'll get another one next year. It's no big deal.
Indeed. Sure indeed. They pump them out.
All right. Let's see here. This is from Crimson Sun. Keep it up to third-party game controller makers. I was listening to the Lords talk about various game controllers recently, and while I looked at several controller brands like FlyDiggy, I decided to try out G7 Pro from GameSire. It's really nice. The ergonomics are right for me. I haven't had any experience with third-party party controllers since Mad Catz controllers on the GameCube. Besides a cheap Logitech controller, the third-party controller market has come a long way. What makes a good controller for you? Ergonomics, how it looks, how tactile it is, other features? Thanks, and keep up the controller recommendations. You guys recommending
third
third party?
he's talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it does look like an Xbox controller.
Cool. Looks very
GameSire probably makes the best. I would even say these are on par with Xbox's brand controllers.
Ooh.
Like to me, what it makes a controller is like these grips. Like these have to be good.
Nice.
I don't really care about these buttons in the back. A lot of people do, like especially competitive play. How the actual joysticks feel. The analog, the R2 and L2 and L1 and R2, they got to be pretty good. People like this little share button. I don't give two shits about that, but I know that's something really important. I know Cog likes that.
Yeah, a lot of the high end controllers don't have the share button, and it pisses me off. Ooh, it comes off.
Yeah, you can change all that. These are good. This is a good controller. I'm new when it comes to. Oh, it comes with this too. Like this little thing that you put it on.
Oh, like a little stand?
Yeah. So
a charger or is it just a stand?
It's a charger.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yeah, so it comes down to it because this is wireless on PC and it's wired on Xbox. And I think they need to maybe try to like make a wireless. I don't know if maybe it's like some like technology that you have to license out additional with Xbox, but it is a good controller because here recently, the past like 6 months to a year, I actually have this controller too. I wouldn't really recommend this one, but I've been trying to give these smaller companies more shine. It's a good controller. The problem is like the little adapter they give you, it like desyncs all the time for no reason. And
Yikes.
I can't really like recommend a brand to you that it might desync in the middle of a Call of Duty match. Will it do it? I don't know. Like they don't have like the little sticks; they just have the little buttons. It's a good controller, and if they ever fix whatever is on syncing, it might just be mine. So I don't know. I reached out to them and they said we can get on WhatsApp and we can update your controller. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like if I have to reach out to you and get on WhatsApp, that's the review. It's not changing at that point. Like,
fair enough.
All right, dude. I haven't bought a third-party controller since like the N64 days.
Wow.
And I remember, like, these suck. Back then, at least.
I got the GameCube.
GameCube one, yeah.
Wow, check it out.
To me, it's all about like a D-pad on a controller too. A lot of it.
Yeah.
So you gotta get that D-pad right.
Same for me. Yeah, I like the Razer Wolverine.
I might
D-pad.
talk shit about Zelda, but I do have a Zelda statue. I love the newer games. I just don't like in terms of like Zelda. I don't feel like it. I like the older Zeldas for like some of the adventuring more than I love these games. It's just there's certain aspects of them that I'm not the biggest fan of. Doesn't mean I don't like it, but
yeah, I got you. All right, so game recommendation time. I forgot to take one from the audience, so we'll do double next week. But Cog, give a game recommendation for the audience. Any game, doesn't have to be new. Any game.
Got my Demeo shirt on. I know how I'd play with this Demeo. I'm going to get everyone into the good congregation. We got Battlemarked, man. Dungeons and Dragons cross Demeo Battlemarked. So people who played the original Demeo. It was kind of like a roguelite. You had 4 or 5 characters that had like archetypes. You'd play into, basically it's a card-based game, and you have your cards that have your abilities.
Hold on, don't get too deep. We're going to talk about that game in a second.
Let me slow down. Okay, my bad.
Just so that was you recommend the game. Okay.
Yeah, we're just going to keep it fire. We're going to keep it short.
Keep it short, quickly. All right, any game you can recommend.
Final Fantasy Tactics.
There you go. Okay, perfect. All right, now
I would say Moonlighters, but I know we're going to talk about that. So
yes, now Cog.
Sorry.
Now it's time to dive in. I know you're getting excited talking about it. Let's get right into it. Demeo. Is it Demeo? Is that how you say it? Demeo. Dungeons and Dragons Battlemarked. All right. What is this? Explain to me, good sir.
All right. So tabletop, up to 4 players co-op, but you could play solo, right? You have your classic archetype. So think of it like this. Think of Demeo meets Dungeons and Dragons Light, where you don't need to have someone play the dungeon master. The game does that. Also think Baldur's Gate Light, because now for the first time, the issue with Demeo is they never had a narrative. They never had. So now we've got classic Dungeons and Dragons lore with archetypes and stories. You got the 2 dice system, which is the standard dice whenever you roll when you're attacking someone on a board, and then you have the actual D20 dice, which is kind of what you would be used to for Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Hey, you approach this thing, you see something in a difference. Hey, you need to roll a 10 or higher, and depending on that scenario, the combat scenario could get much harder. You didn't convince the enemies, or, you get ambushed and things of that nature, or, hey, you get this crazy reward. And what I like is they really mixed both worlds. It's the easy pick up and play aspect that anybody could get into. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Like, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy that I don't do any of that. I'm a Demeo guy. So I'm the super casual of this ecosystem. And now the issue that was always there was, man, they didn't have any story. There's no backdrops. Now we got a full backdrop. Now we got skill points. Now we got checks. Now we have RPG mechanics. And so think of it like this. Like, you got your classic archetypes. You have the paladin. You have the the hunter, the rogue. He's a rogue person. He takes a rogue a lot with me and him play. And the thing that's dope is, again, me and him could play together. We could play up to 4 people. Me and him could control 2 characters apiece. And then we go through, and now we actually have some customization this time adding. Before, it's still light. I want them to have more, but it's very light. You can change the colors of some of the characters. You can change your name and stuff like that. But where the questing really starts to pick up is how good the story is. And this is where the Dungeons and Dragons guys are going to love it, because they go, oh, this is based and rooted in the lore and stuff like that. So yeah, it is fun. It is. The demo was out on Steam Next Fest.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it was fully out there. They had it out there. It lets you play with like 3 or 4 of the characters. They're going to have 2 adventures at launch. The game drops obviously this week. And I just really tell people who, this is perfect for someone who likes a Baldur's Gate, but is intimidated by all the depth of it, right? And this is pick up and play with your friends. And it's some of the best gameplay. And I think they've got something. I think they got something really special. So, got a chance to play a lot of it. And this comes out this week. So that's my game recommendation. Demeo Dungeons and Dragons Battlemarked. It is really, really good, man.
So you're like these little game board piece characters almost, right?
So yeah, think of it like this. Imagine like you had like it's like you have they like pieces on the map, right?
Yeah.
And then the enemies come out, whatever, you look at the abilities, and then the thing that there's destructible areas on the map, fire, things you could do to manipulate to control the battlefield. Usually the odds are kind of against you, and you guys got to work together. Each characters have their own skill sets, their own abilities, things of that nature. And then you have like your own ability cards for that character that you could always roll. Now, what they did this time is they put it on a cooldown. So, for example, if I'm the paladin, one of them is kind of like, okay, I do radiant damage with melee, and I also can heal people in my party if they're within 4 or 5 tiles of me, kind of thing like that. And yeah, man, it's super addicting. It's one of the, if you like turn-based, if you like D&D, if you like any one of those aspects, this is worth trying out. And again, you could play it solo this time, because now we have a narrative. You can be invested, and you're not reliant on having to play with others if you don't want to play co-op. And that's where I think they've kind of nailed that aspect. So yeah, it's early. We'll see, the rest of the game and see how it lands. But
right.
Yeah, so far so good with that demo that came out. And I think they got something really special.
Cool. Addict, you played a little bit of it with him?
Yeah, I actually really enjoy that game. They took a lot of the feedback that was given to them from their original game before they put Dungeons and Dragons and put it in there. I feel like I have more control over my rogue than I did the original one. Rogue, man, you could do some serious damage with that rogue.
From the back is sick.
Yeah, and I like that they let you build the character now. It's not just this is what it is. You can upgrade it, and sometimes it'll lead to more stuff. Sometimes it'll lead to you getting a new card, because it's card based. You have different cards that keep generating around. The good thing is, if you have cards, it's like, this isn't really good for me, because all of our like card thing is leaked. Where if me and Cog have like 2 cards each that we don't need, we can both get rid of those 2 cards, and we'll get a new card if we're closer to that. So I like how, because a lot of those things it will make them like individually, like, I'll have my own, he'll have his own, but where they link them, it's a lot easier to get rid of stuff. Like, it's a good game. Cool. Like, it's a good game. I really, recommend that game. I feel like they did a really good job. One of the reasons that I really push for it is because I don't feel like they have a really high marketing thing. And like,
right, I never heard of this till you guys talked about it.
You got these games that have these crazy marketing rights, and they're just not that the best of games.
Mhm.
And it's like they got millions of dollars to market, but an actual really good game that is small and it's punching above its weight seems to be suffocating because it doesn't have the actual the budget to really come out there like that.
Yeah, and that's why I like to put the spotlight on when I feel like a game is punching way above its weight. I'm just like, this is amazing. And then the thing, I'll be honest with you, Brad, before I even worked at Man, I wasn't really a believer in VR like that, to be honest, right? I was like, trend, whatever. Demeo was the game that made me believe. I'm like, wow, I get it now. Like, it's all, think about like, imagine if like back in the day you had like, even though Demeo does not compare to like a Monopoly or anything, imagine you had like Monopoly, Uno, only like tabletop or card-based or games where I could now put it in my living room, manipulate it, do all this stuff, and I'm playing with others. I'm like, okay, that is nailing something. But where they really took it to the next level is they said, okay, they came out with Demeo PC version. And I'm like, finally, the pancake version for people for addicts, who's like, look, VR, that's cool. I'm not really trying to live in that, right? So then I saw that. I'm like, yes. And then when PSVR 2 came out, which was the huge deal, they had a PS5 only version where you do not need the VR. And once people started saying, oh, we don't need it, we could do and it's cross-play.
That's cool.
I'm like, yes, let's go. Now we're getting more people. Now we just need Xbox. I don't know what's going on, but y'all need to holler at them because they got something, man. For them to get a Wizards of the Coast license is a huge deal. That means Wizards of the Coast saw something in Demeo that feels that not only are you synergistic with us, we want to base our lore around you. And for Demeo hardcore fans, you're going to see certain aspects of their characters, Cleefdo the shopkeeper and things like that. It's a lot of synergy that serves both fan bases really well and respectfully.
Yeah. What, do you just want to see Xbox do something like this with one of their IPs?
This needs to be on this goddamn platform. Where the hell is the Demeo?
He just wants it on Xbox. It's not on Xbox.
It's not on Xbox? Damn.
It's on every platform. PC,
he'll play Steve
PS5.
Putting that out there.
Yeah, bro, I'm like, this is my favorite game. This is what got me into VR. I was so happy when it came to console. It came, to PC. I'm like, there's one platform that's missing. Where's the damn Xbox version?
That is unfortunate.
Yeah. So Demeo, I mean, again, I'm going to put the focus on Xbox. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Y'all better call them, unless there's some deal or something, which I doubt. But it's on everything else except you. Make it fix that.
All right, this breaks the rules a little bit, but I'm going to allow it because it's about COG. Scott Holdsworth wrote and said, "Yo, dudes, Bradley, may I issue a keep it up to the Shinobi Lord Cognito? You can't spell COG without OG. This man has been shouting the good words about Demeo for years now, and only recently did I learn that it now offers a non-VR mode. When I owned a Quest 2, I was always interested, but I never played online, as I'm an old crusty man. Now that I can play solo and just on my PC or Steam Deck, it's huge. Plus the D&D crossover is just the icing on an already very tasty cake. So keep spreading the good word, my lord. Love and respect."
Oh, Scott,
See,
that's
the issue. Like, he didn't know there was a PC version. Like, that's how bad the marketing is. They don't have the budget.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And not to get, I usually, I don't try to be political, but one thing that I think is hurting them is that they are not on, I'll just say they are not on all social media platforms. And I think it's a mistake in this day and era, regardless of whatever your feelings or your politics are, you need to be everywhere. And I think that's something from a feedback standpoint, I would kind of tell them, because I think that's another big reason why people don't know. You're only on specific platforms, and we got to fix that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. 100%. It's fucking marketing. You got to market to where the people are.
You got to market where people are.
All right. Final game here from Addict. I'm very curious about this. Moonlighter 2. I always wanted to play the first one, but I never got around to it. But Moonlighter 2 is coming out. Addict, talk to me.
So it is an early access. That was another I feel like early access is like a double-edged sword. I enjoy when it's used well, like Baldur's Gate, Hades. There's a lot of companies that really do it, and I feel like a lot of people, it's kind of like don't gain nothing from being in early access. I feel like Moonlighters has every potential to be just as good as like a Hades 2. Because the one of the biggest things that Hades has going for it is like the Greek mythology. People can really gravitate towards that because of like, God of War and stuff like that. A lot of gamers are into that mythology. Moonlighters don't have that, clearly, but what they do have is like, how when you defeat something in Hades, one of the gods come up like, yo, what's up? Here's the abilities I'm offering you. If you don't like any of them, I don't know what to tell you. Moonlighters has that. So like essentially you have like a run, but in Hades, you don't know what direction. Like you'll just go through a door, another place will show up. Moonlighter shows you the path. So you can like scroll over. This is where the boss is. You could take these paths. You can take these paths. Slay the Spire. It's built more like that. And you'll see lightnings on the path where it's like these are clearly lightning upgrades, and they kind of brought that in from Hades. Moonlighters didn't really have that like upgrades during the actual runs, so that's good. It's got a hub world. Essentially, what Moonlighters is to the core, it's a merchant simulator that you go into dungeons, you slay creatures, and you bring back relics, and the relics sell, and then you use that money to upgrade your equipment, your backpack, so you can carry more relics to sell stuff. There's an alchemy chick that will like you can buy upgrades for potions. There's people that give you relic upgrades where it like gives stuff like reduced damage for a whole for the run. And then it's like the definition of a roguelike. What I enjoyed about the first one more is it was roguelike too, but they did a better job at hiding it. And I think this is one thing that I have to like stand down, even though I particularly don't like the way they handle the roguelike in Moonlighters 2. Games like Hades 2, these have made these way more popular. So I would say in the first one, maybe it was a creative choice. Maybe it was just easier to do it the way they did. Essentially, you went into a dungeon and they randomized the rooms. Maybe that was a technical issue where they didn't have the money to like make an expanding area. So they hid the roguelike a lot better in that game because you go into these dungeons on here, man. I ain't even joking to you guys. Like they'll have like a way that you go from like section to section, and you'll take that way. It's the definition of roguelike. But it's not a bad thing. It's just I would have preferred to hide it a little bit better. Returnal did a really good job hiding roguelike. You could clearly tell it was a roguelike, but they did a really good job on building onto that and to hide it a little bit. I really enjoy the fact the bosses are really good. They feel a little bit raid-like from Destiny. Like they have ways that they fight. Every run, because right now because it's early access, they have 3 levels. They have like a technical one. They have a grassland one and like kind of like a flowers and clouds one. And I fought the bosses on all of them but one because one of the bosses will not let me fight it. It bugs out every time. So I'm staying away from that one. And it's early access, so I can't really go into them too much because they literally telling you that. But every what I like is the night and day of every level, because there's a night and day of every level. Different bosses, and I didn't expect that. Like when you fight something during the day and the night, that boss, and some of the bosses are rough. There is a boss where I fought him and I took his health down to 0, and he had a last stand mode like Oryx does in Destiny, and I was so dead. I had like 2 or 3 health left. I've used all my potions. I'm like, and like that part you get in games where you're like, you almost dead. I'm gonna hit you with everything I have.
Yeah, about to give it to you.
That, expecting it to end.
Yeah.
And then it did another animation. He shows up in the middle, and then he does like the war mechanic, and you have to essentially hit him one more time. And I'm like, if I die here, I'm gonna be livid. But I was able to get through it. Bosses are really good. I'm a big boss person. A good boss to me means everything, and I feel like they did a really good job on that. It's essentially phenomenal game. Really enjoyed it. I was actually a little disappointed when I got to the end, and they're like, "That's all, folks. Come back when we have the rest of the game." But I got 30 hours into the early access.
Wow.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I'm assuming the real game is going to be about 50. But it was good. I think you would like it, Brad. I really do.
Probably,
I think you would like it. If you didn't play the first Moonlighters, I don't know necessarily. Like, if you want to play a full experience with them, because it's essentially the same game, just looks better.
Mhm.
Some of the systems have been upgraded. So you can play the first one. It's not completely outdated, and it's on every platform.
Right.
But I would really recommend you either play the first one and wait for the second one to get an official release, or play the early access of the second one, because it's good. I enjoy it.
Yeah. It looks really cool. I love roguelikes and stuff like that. So I haven't even played Hades 2 yet, so I'd have to play through that first.
I played a little bit of Hades too.
But yeah, it looks awesome. I love the idea of being a merchant and going into the dungeons and collecting loot and selling it.
Yeah,
That's really fun.
What's funny is when you set up your store, they'll if it's too high, they'll just a frowny face. They'll walk away like disgusted. If it's too low, they'll have these shining eyeballs that they just robbed you essentially. So your goal is to get to like the middle, and if you have either the shiny eyeballs or the middle, you'll get like these perks if you do enough of them, where it's like, all your relics sell 10% more now. All your relics do this. Legendary relics sell 40% more. And,
Right.
You can level up your actual store to be bigger, so you can put more down. It's a very in-depth game that at the beginning seems very minimum, but the more you play, the more you unlock stuff. You're like, yo, this is deep.
Good shit. Yeah. Cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Hopefully, we'll get to play it someday. Add it to the list of 1 million games.
Of 1 million games.
All right, boys, let's end the show with some write-ins from the audience. If you want to write into this show, I post a thread every Saturday on our Patreon calling for your submissions. We do this for all of our shows too, by the way. So if you want to write into anything like The Finding Duke, keep an eye on our Patreon. Cog, do you know what day you guys post the thread? I know Maddie probably posts it. So
Maddie for Duke, he's usually Mondays.
Mondays, okay.
Mondays, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye out. You want to write into that show?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see here. This is from the Juan One. Hello, Summoners. Question for the Iron Lords. Is Destiny 2 dead? Between the layoffs at Bungie, the portal system made 90% of the content useless, the lowest player counts, and many content creators leaving the game. It feels like this is Destiny 2's days are numbered. Like many Destiny players after the final shape, it feels like my journey with the game has come to its end. Maybe Destiny 3 might bring me back, but honestly, I don't know.
Yes, not looking good, boys. It's not looking good. It's we're the body's getting cold. You know what I mean? And we just got to be real about it. A lot of it from a community standpoint. I know a lot of the biggest guys in the Destiny community with full-time streamers have now gone on to other games. I know right now Arc Raiders is a big craze for a lot of people that were doing content.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked, the player counts were brutally low. They made a statement maybe a few days ago in reference to finally admitting Age of Fate was a disaster and the portal system was not good and they didn't listen to feedback. Look, at the end of the day, Addict said it best. They were at their peak with Final Shape. They made, to me, the perfect conclusion to a 10-year saga. And at that point, they should have been transitioning to Destiny 3. Like Addict said, they took their eye off the ball. They started to chase the trend of all these other projects and expand too big as far as extraction shooters and Marathon. And we already see that Arc Raiders seem to be eating their lunch potentially in that space. So now they have to take the feedback from that. And the vibe I'm getting is that unfortunately, Marathon needs to do well for them now. They're in a situation where Marathon needs to do well for them to even think about making a Destiny 3 because Destiny 3 is not development. So it's really bad right now. It sucks because this is, Iron Lords wouldn't exist without Destiny. I don't meet Addict without Destiny. You know what I'm saying? Like Destiny is so integral in how good it feels as a shooter.
Well, I don't think that's entirely true. You bribed me to play Destiny.
I forced you to play that. Yeah, that is true. I definitely did. We had a bet. He was playing Assassin's Creed Unity, and I was playing Destiny 2 right before the Iron Lords expansion, the Rise of Iron expansion. And I was like, hey, you play this, and if you like it, vice versa. And then we had to play each other's games. And he ended up liking it. But I
was talking so much shit about this game.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not gonna play it.
And he was like, I made a video on YouTube that says IGN's reviewing Destiny Rock by Rock, and he didn't like that. And he's like, I'm going to buy you the game. Yes. I was like, I can't just take the game. And at the time, I just bought the bundled for Assassin's Creed 4 and I think Unity.
Yes.
Which, that was a horrible trade to him. But,
Yeah, because at the time, Unity was dope game. It was like technically had all the
it
issues.
didn't come out yet, though, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was about to come out. But
Yes.
I got the better end of the deal for that. I got 10 years of a game. But it's cool.
Bro, it's some of the best moments in gaming is us like doing the King's Fall raids and like these are some of the best cooperative experiences in gaming, and where every one of my friend lists is playing together, the shooting and the characters, stuff like that. So look, Juan, to your question, yeah, it looks grim. I'm worried about them potentially getting shut down. I'm worried about Sony taking as Ty Guy Travis would say, the brain drain and the brain trust from Bungie and fusing that into PlayStation Studios. I don't know if they get another shot. I mean, we just saw publicly Sony in their earnings call literally say that they were overvalued.
Yep.
And, when a company puts that in the report, that is a horrible look. That means we're putting you on blast that we really kind of think you were a bad investment and you guys over projected what you're actually worth.
Yeah.
Oh boy. It doesn't get more bad than that. So yeah, it looks bad. I will support them to the end. I will, when the new Star Wars gimmicky thing comes out, Renegades, I'll be there just to see. When Marathon comes out, I'll be there. I'm just trying to keep them alive as much as I can, but hopefully they can pull a rabbit out of the hat. But it don't look good. This is the one thing I think. They've always been able to pull a rabbit and survive a reinvent. I don't know if they survive this one. It looks that bad.
Cog, you picked the worst teams to root for.
He ain't right. He ain't lying though. He ain't lying. What they call me, the king of the underdog or something like that. You're like, bro, like all my stuff dies. All my stuff. Everything I like.
Man.
It's over. It's over. You learn to live with it. The Mets, Xbox, Destiny. You learn to live with this stuff. It was a good run. I will say this.
Yeah.
When they actually do good, the victories are sweeter.
That's true.
Because you didn't expect it.
It's very sweet. You're right. That's true. Addict, do you have any thoughts about this? Destiny dying?
I think Destiny 2's dead, but I don't think the brand's dead. I think, all these content creators, the majority of the fan base, if they put both the whole studio into Destiny 3 and, they had a good, because it starts out the marketing and the way that they launched Destiny 3. I remember the Cade marketing and the Zavala marketing in Destiny 2, and Zavala's talking to like the actual people in the game, the personalities in the game, and Cade's just talking to us. He's like, "There's loot," like stuff like that. Yeah. I do feel that the game has potential to come back and still flourish. Will it ever flourish as much as it used to? Potentially, because I do feel like, Destiny gamers, unfortunately, like we go back to our abusers.
To abusive relationship.
I can sit here and tell you blue in the face that I wouldn't go back to that. But if they give me a little shiny, I would not go back to
trailer.
DLC.
That's all it takes.
I would not go back to any DLC for Destiny 2.
Yes,
but
the expansion.
They gave me a Destiny 3. They gave me a good villain. They gave me a good concept at the beginning. I'm probably back. I'm gonna be real with you. Like,
I think a lot of people would be back as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
people like to talk until game time.
So it's game time. That trailer come out. Forget everything.
And I said earlier, I got no self control of games. I just don't. Like, that's why when I clap onto a game I really like, I turn around and I beat it in 3 days. Like,
he's a savage.
So it's just Destiny means a lot to me as a brand, probably the most important franchise in my gaming roots. So I hope the best for it. I don't blame Bungie per se for the condition that Destiny's in. I really blame the higher ups in Bungie. I don't blame the entirety of Bungie. They were kind of right a little bit, because we are starting to get more extraction shooter happening. But it's just like, I don't think Marathon was it. Like, when I see Ark, I could see the appeal to Ark. I could see, this game looks good. I haven't played it myself yet, but I could see the appeal. I played Marathon. I didn't watch someone play Marathon. I played Marathon. And I came back to that ain't it. Like, I don't know what they got to do. What I think they got to do is cancel that bitch and go back to Destiny 3. But clearly, I don't know. Then, all the thieving going on. It's just like, PlayStation, once again, PlayStation trend chasing by the whole developer and publisher, because at the time Bungie was a publisher too, and it blew up in their face because they were trend chasing. So it's just like, I hope the best for them, because I don't want to see. There's a lot of good people that work at Bungie, but at the same time, once again, you make bad decisions, even if it was your higher ups. There's consequences for that. And now PlayStation ain't gonna sit here and foot the bill. I'm hoping. I do think because they spent so much money on Bungie, I do think they will give them a crack at Destiny 3. Because because the 3.2 billion, wasn't it? That's a lot, and investing more money into Destiny would definitely add a couple hundred, like probably 150 million onto it. But in my mind, I think PlayStation definitely sees value in Destiny. It's just that Marathon was so far in development, because they canceled a bunch of other stuff or switch it to another studio. I feel like they would rather take the risk to see what a Destiny 3 would do than just completely take an L for the whole investment purchase. Like,
I hope so. The thing that scares me, and the final thing I'll say, is just that even at their best, what was it, Final Shape or whatever, they said they said that they didn't meet sales expectation. I remember during the Activision days when Activision owned them, and we thought, Forsaken was amazing, and it didn't. So whatever these unrealistic, margins they're telling Sony, Activision, or whoever's the publisher that owes them at the time, they don't actually hit it, even when the content's good. So yeah, this was what came out during the Xbox acquisition stuff, is when Xbox says, yeah, we think their burn rate's high, and we don't think, they're actually going to be able to make that money in the stuff that they're projecting. That just means that they spend very high. They're very expensive chick.
And I do think a lot of their key issues is self-inflicted.
Oh yeah,
Bungie is responsible for a lot of the bad issues that's happening, bad practices that happen. A lot of they realistically thought the Destiny community wouldn't bite them back.
Never betray,
and we did. We didn't just bite them. We took their arm, their leg, their ankle. Like we're like, we done with you. And now like Destiny's like flopping in the middle of the road.
It's always the management making dumb decisions and overly over projections and over monetization. The developers actually listening to the feedback, doing things that, they'll do stupid things and then they'll do it, they'll course correct, and it's amazing, and the cycle continues. But it's always leadership's problem from the start. That, to me, that's always been the issue. And now we see what's happening. Most of them are either let go or absorbed. So that's the only hope I could hang on to and see.
All right, well, we'll see. Next, we got David writing and said, salute, Brad and the Iron Lords. Is From Software officially the best studio out there? The balance between output and quality from them is insane. Can any studio even compete? Would love to hear about some of your favorite studios. Cheers, David.
I have to still get at the Rockstar. As much as I love From Software games, I feel like From Software games appeal to a lot of people, especially more than they did 10 years ago. But I still feel like there's a certain gamer that plays their games. A lot of people play Rockstar games, and until they make something that's very appealing, that appeals to that many people, and is that on quality? Sure, Rockstar only releases a game that feels like every generation, but when that game releases, it shuts the internet down. Now, From Software has definitely hit that. Well, From Software, Elden Ring, I would say, did that. But do you think that there's anything that they made besides Elden Ring that compares to like a GTA? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if
not
the Dark. Well, I'm just talking about impact in the industry in general.
Yeah, I definitely think Dark Souls had a humongous impact on the industry. The Soulsborne genre was born because of that.
What I'm referring to is like, even though like the whole industry as a whole, it impacted and it built all of these other studios that make these games. But once again, really, they're just recycling the same gamers. Like we all play this one, or Souls like we'll play this one because look, we like those type of games.
Sure.
But I feel like GTA 4, GTA 5, even though that these are games that's in the industry, I feel like they've always appealed to more people. They've always had a more of an industry shake. And even though that Dark Souls helped a lot in its genre, I don't think it has quite the impact that like the GTAs have had.
No, I mean, pretty much no games have had the impact GTA games have had.
I feel like Elden Ring is on that level. That's the only
sales wise, no. But in
not
terms of like
sell, but you get what I'm
zeitgeist.
saying.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Rockstar is kind of an anomaly.
Ain't nothing going to touch a Rockstar game sales wise.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about like older Rockstar games like State of Emergency and shit like that. It's like not very good. Whatever. Ping pong, I'm sure is fine. The Rockstar table tennis game, Bully's fine.
Ping pong, I'm done.
Bully's good, yeah.
But
it's just those GTAs.
Those
even Red Dead
GTAs, yeah,
Redemption.
those are like, cultural events.
Yeah, those are the event.
Yeah, Elden Ring had a similar effect, not sales wise, but I couldn't.
It did, yeah.
So
it did
until they're consistent with it. They do like another Elden Ring type of game, maybe not Elden Ring, but it has the same effect. Then I would start, because I do think From Software top 3 to 5 developers in the industry, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. From Software is an interesting game because they still like to do smaller projects.
Yes.
Like Armored Core. Like Armored Core is never going to be like big. It's just not like a very gritty mech game like that. It's never going to reach like the mass appeal and stuff. But yeah, Elden Ring definitely their biggest success ever. It's hard to say if they'll ever reach that success again. You just can't say. I'm sure there's going to be an Elden Ring 2 or a follow-up because that game did way too well, and Bandai Namco can smell that money.
Oh yeah. Yes, looked at them. Yeah, I don't have too much to add. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Souls guy, but I got so much respect for From. If anyone wants to, say that that's their best studio, not gonna get much pushback from me. They're truly. Elden Ring was definitely a moment. As far as my favorite, I'm still running with my Respawn right now.
It's your favorite?
Like Respawn.
They're great.
Yeah. I think Respawn.
Studio.
Yeah, man. They
There's diverse too.
Yeah, jack of all trades in the AAA space. And the only thing I worry about now is just with them is I want to see in a post EA acquired scenario how that affects them, if at all. I know they've been trying to put out statements that, hey, don't worry, with our new owners, not going to change.
I don't believe anytime a studio says that, like BioWare talking about recently. Like nobody is safe.
You got to see
nobody's safe.
Exactly. So I just want to see that because
my criticism of Respawn is like, please have better optimization in your games. Like I don't really talk about performance a whole lot, but I beat both of their Jedi games, the Survivor and Fallen Order. I think was the first one called.
Yes,
and they ran horribly.
Yeah, the performance was not good. They had to definitely address that for sure. But I just was so cool to see them take that Star Wars license, make this iconic character that resonates with everybody. And then obviously, look, I'm not a battle royale guy. I hate it when they came out with battle. I wanted Titanfall 3, but I have to admit, Apex was a hit when when they launched with that. Obviously, I'm a huge Titanfall fan. I thought when they dropped that was amazing. And then to see what Vince and them are now doing, even though that's not Respawn, he's the owner of Respawn, but what he's done with Battlefield and have that resurgence and stuff like that. Yeah, I love Respawn, man. I think they're a super dope developer, and I can't wait to see what they got cooking next. So that's who I'll give my shout out to.
Yeah, a lot of great studios out there. All right, this is from Truther Bear. Good day, boys. Long-time listener, first time submitting a question. With the recent announcement of the Steam Machine, rumors of Half-Life 3 releasing simultaneously with the console are circulating around the internet. With an early 2026 release date slated, could it be that Rockstar caught wind of this scenario and decided to push back the release date? Not primarily because they could use more time to work on GTA 6, but rather they didn't want to risk having to share the spotlight, or dare I even say be outshined by Half-Life 3. Thanks for all the years of entertainment. I hope you all have a blessed and happy holiday season. No, there's 0% chance they move that game. Yeah, there's 0% chance they are worried about Half-Life 3.
GTA 6 is not scared of anything.
They're literally not. Half-Life 3 will be a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's a big deal in like a gamer space. GTA is a big deal in everyday life space for everybody, kind of thing like that. Like, if Half-Life 3 does come out, I'm going to be very thrilled. Very thrilled. But GTA 6 is on a whole different level.
GTA checks under the bed for the Boogeyman. Boogeyman checks under the bed for GTA 6.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Agree.
So I don't think there's anything to worry about from that front. Those two aren't going to really compete necessarily in that space.
Even IPs that can even remotely compete with it, like Call of Duty, especially after this year. No, don't.
Yeah. No, I think, No, GTA is not afraid of anything. All right. This is from Ryan Harvey. Hey, fellas, now that it's been a few days, do we think that Battlefield 6 might have outsold Call of Duty this year? Or might have outdone Call of Duty this year, not outsold? As a side hope, you can get Max Durate on the show someday. Brad, I saw him on your State of Play live stream, and he said he would do a summon sign. Love the show. So I don't know who this is until recently, because I think Dustin brought this up to me, who this guy is. So I don't really know them, but if Dustin approves of them, then I will approve of them as well. So maybe I'll do some research and get into that. But anyways, the question, do you think Battlefield 6 might have outdone Call of Duty this year? I guess it's hard to say. We haven't played Call of Duty, any of us.
Yeah.
But
I could just only...
I played it.
Oh, you played it, okay.
Yeah, but I only played the demo of Battlefield 6. But like what I can like bring up is just like looking at what I did play of both of them and what I see on the internet. They absolutely outshine Call of Duty this year.
It seems like that from a perception standpoint, for sure. People seem way more hot still on Battlefield 6 than Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting. I still feel like Battlefield is still the toast of the town, and people, from my understanding, I'm seeing mixed stuff. I'm on the campaign of Call of Duty. I'm curious about how people with the multiplayer, how they're feeling. I'm curious about that. But yeah, I'll get a chance to get into a lot of that stuff, this weekend and dive into Call of Duty, try to give it a fair shake. But like you said, Brad, the perception, it just feels like Battlefield 6. Now, whether that translates
to sales
is a whole nother story, because I've seen on the worst Call of Duties, it still dominates. But what I will say, it does feel like at least about Battlefield's in the conversation, and maybe they start to try to close the gap from subsequent years.
Yeah, like I was looking at Steam charts earlier, and it's not super high for Call of Duty right now.
Okay.
But what I'm really curious about is the console space about Call of Duty sales. Yes, that's what I really want to know, because I think that's probably where the bulk of sales are from, I assume. At least PlayStation, I assume.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how it sells, but we shall see. Did we get Battlefield sales? I don't know if we did yet. Probably not till like a financial report or something, I'm guessing. All right. Let's see here. Final write-in is from KZ Icon. Sup, Summoners and the Lords of Iron. This question is for you, Brad, but the Lords are more than welcome to add their thoughts. Does Nintendo hate Metroid Prime 4 or something? It seems like there's little to no marketing and even hype for the Prime 4 or Prime 4 at all. I did see some outlets give out impressions on the upcoming title, but they didn't seem impressed after the game had been in development for many years now. Tell me I'm crazy, or is Prime 4 going to be Nintendo's first miss in a long time? Obviously not counting sports spin-offs and other Nintendo gimmicks. That's so many Nintendo games. Just ignore all these Nintendo games. Thanks, and have a rolling into a ball and escaping life kind of day. Now, Cog, I'm curious about this because I'm in the Nintendo ecosystem in the zeitgeist. I understand kind of the feelings on it, but more as an outsider, I guess. What do you feel about the perception of this game right now?
I ain't hearing much buzz, man. I'm not hearing nothing. Like I usually like even the rollout. Like you'll get like I remember, bro, that Donkey Kong Bonanza rollout was insane. And I'm not even Donkey Kong. I'm like, yo, I'm interested. That looks, you know what I'm saying? Like super cool. It just seems like the other franchises get, all the attention, the marketing, the Nintendo Direct before it. And, maybe they do it with this one, but I just feel like they know Metroid isn't that, and they just treat it as such. And it's just like, again, it's just my perception. If people have the data, say, no, they actually did a rollout or they did this, please show me. Because I always felt that's the franchise I like. I know Nintendo has its core demographic, but I like, darker Nintendo. I like, mysterious sci-fi. I like that thing from them. And I just wish, it was a little bit more, emphasis put on it. But I don't get the sense that it either did well initially and they're still not as confident as they are with their major ones, the Marios and the Zeldas and stuff. But that's just my perception looking for the outside.
What do you think, Addict?
I think first off, like, I know it's hard, but we have to like be realistic with just because the difference of like them having the game in development doesn't mean it was in development that whole time. We've seen a lot in the past where like a game gets restructured and they don't work on it for like another 6 months to a year. That doesn't like take away from the fact, but generally that's not how development works. Just because the game was 7 years.
Yeah, I think it
Doesn't
got
mean they were
scrapped. I
working
think it was
on
a different team doing it originally, I think.
because that happened with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yep.
Like they had to scrap it and remake it. Do I think it's gonna like? I guess the where the metrics is like, do we think, like a fell on Metacritic wise, fell on like review wise, like I don't know, that's the same thing. Like sales wise, I think it's gonna do good because I think there's still a massive amount of people that really love the Metroid games, but I don't think Metroid's like huge from the start. Like Metroid has a dedicated fan base, but as far as like saying that Metroid has like the amount of people required to make it as successful as like a Zelda or a Mario, I just don't think that's realistic expectations. Like I think it's going to do good for a Metroid game. Now, is it going to surpass the other Metroidvanias? I think a better like analysis would be Metroid Dread.
Mm-hmm.
Does it do better than that? Because I think that's and that was a 2D, wasn't it? That wasn't 3D.
Right. That's a 2D joint. Yeah.
So, you know, and I heard that game was great.
It is great, yeah.
You know, think that's the better thing. And that's not even a really good comparison because that's a 2D and this is a 3D and this is Metroid Prime 4, which is people have been wanting this game for a long time. So I do think we're gonna see some good stuff. Like I do I think it's what the Metroid fans, some of them have in their head, maybe won't live up to those expectations, but I don't think it's gonna be a bomb.
Sure.
You know, it might be like well, it's good, but nothing like memorable. Like we ain't gonna be screaming next year it needs to be game of the year, maybe. Like
sure. Yeah. Marketing wise for Metroid going on right now, I don't really know. This seems very status quo to me for marketing for Metroid. Okay. It's like I kind of see some of it, but I don't know if there's gonna be like, I doubt there's gonna be like TV commercials for this game or anything like that. That's something they would save for Zelda maybe or Mario, something or like Animal Crossing.
I can't get a direct. I can't get a hands-on. Like,
yeah,
this is what
I
we
think
doing.
It's super weird with Metroid because I feel like, this is me included, is if you do a direct on it, it's like now especially, it's like I don't even want to see it because we're so damn close.
Too close.
Maybe if you did it much earlier, in which they did show off some of the game, but I feel like Metroid's a game where you like don't need to explain what the game is. It's not like we're with Breath of the Wild where I was like, what is this game actually? Like, what do you do? Like, how does it work? Or like Death Stranding was a good example. I'm like, what the fuck is this game?
What the hell is going
on? I know what Metroid Prime 4 is already. And people played it a while ago. Like, I know Gene played it and stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe just to get more attention, it could have been a good idea, Cog. I don't know. They did 2 Kirby Air Riders directs that were over an hour each about. So, Sakurai's hustling over there.
When is Casual Cog go get his Metroid direct?
I will say that they put more time into something like Fire Emblem than they do.
Yeah, Fire Emblem does better probably than Metroid.
But see, you could make the argument that the reason these other franchises do better is because they get more spotlight, they get more exposure, they get treated like they get treated like the stepchild, the redheaded stepchild. And they're in the building and they're seen, but they're not put out for everyone to see. They don't take them to the steak dinners. They bring them back Wendy's.
Well, I'll say at least Fire Emblem didn't get relevant in the North or to North America until the DS era with Awakening and something like that.
I say Three Houses.
They didn't even fucking bring those games over for a long time. It wasn't until like Smash that people realized who Martha and Roy were, period. So Fire Emblem had its own struggles for a long time, but they were smart with Fire Emblem. They put dating into those games, and that's how you get people.
Yeah, the Three Houses was a really good game. Really good game.
Yeah, so it got a lot of people in. Till Metroid adds that, maybe. Yeah, who knows?
The funny thing is, I feel like they put more effort into Fire Emblem, but I feel like Samus is a bigger name than the majority of their stuff.
She is. Samus is a huge video game character and a very recognizable character. I will say, probably just because she's been along for so long.
Yeah,
like her games just they're like, we like you as a figure, so we could throw your ass in Super Smash Brothers. Like we can use you, but your games, nah, we good on them.
Yeah, yeah. Metroid games are good, guys.
Yes,
listeners, don't ignore them. They're good. All right, Cog Addict, we're done. Thank you both for joining me. Really appreciate it. Good stuff. Happy to have you both here. Before we go, though, any final thoughts or anything you guys want to plug before we head out?
No, man, thanks for the invite, bro. This is fun, man. Got Addict in the realm.
Mhm.
He was summoned to the realm of Summer Side. So
That's
this is
right.
fun. Got my brother up in here talking what we talk. But this is cool, man. I really enjoyed this. And, one thing me and Addict, at least we appreciate, especially with Summer Side, is just I miss talking about video games.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we get caught up with the news of video game. That's why
It's easy, dude. I get it.
Yeah, it's needed, man. I think
every week there's some crazy stuff going on with one of these companies. Someone put their foot in their mouth, and then
yeah, it's just refreshing to just be able to talk about a game, what you play, your experiences, what you like, what you don't like, that kind of stuff. I miss that kind of stuff. So yeah. Anytime we have the time, we get a chance, we get the invite, and I appreciate your patience because this month was crazy. And, yeah, man, it was fun. I was like, plus I got Addict here. It's going to be lit. We're going to get a chance to talk some stuff. So yeah, much appreciated, man. This was fun.
Cool. Anything from you, Addict?
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. What's funny is I think that this is like you put the sigils in Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was a really good conversation. Like I said, like I'd be playing so many of these games, and where like all of our attention on the podcast will be directed towards like 5 or 6 different entities. There'd be so many games. I'm just like, well, I guess I'm not talking about that game. So it's nice to come like I did not expect that to be one of the questions. I didn't expect to talk about it, and it was really nice to like really talk about that game in depth. And Moonlighters, it might not do good on YouTube in terms of my review, but I enjoyed playing that game. And regardless if that game bombs in views or not, I feel like the studio has done such a good job. I just have to sit on that stain on my channel and hope it goes up later.
Yeah, I'm the same thing. Like, it's like, I love when a studio really punches above its weight. I love to give, credit and put some spotlight. Cause like, yo, people check this out. And there's a lot of games that people like come to me like, Cog, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have known about such and such. And I love that type of stuff. And you do the same thing, right? There's games that you probably like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know about it. Or like I like when you revisit. Yeah. And you're like, hey, I'm going to go back. It's been a bunch of years. Let me see now. I'm getting ready for the new one, right? So I'm kind of getting it. So I love Maddie does that as well. So
I do that with Final Fantasy a lot.
Yeah, all that stuff is fun, man. So yeah, always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, cool. All right, we're out of here, everybody. Thanks for watching, listening. We appreciate it. See you next week, and take care, and goodbye.
Peace.
Summon Sign is a product of Last Stand Media and Colin's Last Stand LLC, and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Brad Ellis. The show is produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Summon Sign, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we are grateful for your kind contribution and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.